Play the local way. Pay your way.
Have you ever seen the Great Wall at night?
Play the local way. Pay your way.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Lù lù. Má trận cặp này đánh căng quá anh em. Mấy người làm sao cho cặp này thành BO5 á, chứ không nào để nó kết thúc sớm như vậy được. Tôi định game 4, game 5 mới stream á, nhưng mà tại game 4, game 5 là trễ rồi. Đéo kịp nghi 3 không quá.
Now it will be looming.
Yep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Worlds 2025. It is now GENG with match point. Although it feels like we just played a season of League of Legends in one day, it is still at least one more game to go. And I know that I'm not alone in saying that please,
Bây giờ từ đây tới ngày
just set up.
Từ đây tới ngày kia là đánh liên tục tiểu.
One more game.
I mean, if the finals is anything to go by,
there should be one.
Hey, this is where Hanwha was in the position that GENG is in right now.
Game 5 đây cặp này quá hay mọi người ạ. Má game nào cũng căng như chó vậy đấy.
Like these teams, it would be uncharacteristic for it to end in a 3-0, and I think that Hanwha Live have demonstrated that they have the capacity to go toe-to-toe with this team. A team that, I mean, HLE, there were so many question marks around what level they would come in at, but my goodness, what a level they are providing with us today as we jump into our third draft of this series.
And for me, one of the big talking points coming into this tournament was Duro. Obviously at MSI, the nerves did not hurt him, but that series, a game that goes that long where you are the prime initiator, having a performance like that, and then on the flip side, Viper. We have ran out of words to describe how good Viper was in that last game. But trust us, it really defied all expectations, and he was the #1 reason why that game, I say series, but it did really feel like
About
it
that same amount of time. Yeah.
went on the way that it did. It's, oh my god, I haven't even finished my sent. There it is, the respect to Duro.
The Blitzcrank ban does come on through. There is one thing I do
Đánh
need to say,
59
a
phút
little bit of
coi.
a PSA from the
Tôi
last
đánh
game.
2
I
trận
did
tốc
say
chiến luôn
something
á.
wrong. I said it was a 92
Tôi coi mà
minute
tôi đánh
game.
2
It was a
trận tốc
94
chiến ra
minute
vẫn chưa
game.
đánh
So
xong
there,
mấy ông.
Achilles, I corrected myself. I hope you're happy. One last ban to come on through here for GENG. We'll see what they do take away. It would be very funny if it was a Silas ban.
Sion?
Because
It's
Silas.
Sion?
But it
No.
is
Not
not. I
Sion.
guess it's not going to be either
Well,
of the
Trundle is
side
still
champions.
up.
Yeah, is Sion just... Well, these two teams just said, yeah, Sion's bait.
Well,
It's
they
overrated.
banned it in game 2. So
did.
they definitely are aware of his presence at the very least. The question is, do they feel confident enough to blind pick it for Zeus here in game 3? You can see they're deliberating. So far in this series, it felt like game 1 and game 2, HLE had a very clear game plan of how they wanted to approach the series. Here in game 3, though, they're going to rely on comfort, and why wouldn't you? I mean, backs against the wall,
Whoa.
match point in favor of GENG. Zeus going to get his signature rumble.
Well, the Ornn still up and available, something that Keen can go towards. Was actually thinking about playing it in the last one. So likely going to be the response. We haven't necessarily seen it be, you know, a be-all and end-all, but the Skarner, this is something that Canyon was basically the only guy that found success on. You were mentioning the Azir Skarner combination. This is something that GENG could do. Everyone else tried to replicate it, and it looked a little silly.
Oh.
Đánh
Here is
ngầm
the
game
Sion
vào.
instead. That is going to be the answer into the Rumble.
So Ornn was at the forefront of my mind. Another one was actually the Cassante, which Keen has picked a lot into Rumble and obviously is one of his comfort picks, but it is just going to be the power pick of the Sion taken away here. And I think the Skarner consideration is mostly because Skarner Rumble is such an insane combo for the team fights, and really,
Hold them over
It's-
the barbecue, right?
yeah, it's very, very obvious that this series will just continue to come down to team fights. That was the case in game 1, it's the case in game 2, very, very clearly. And
Oh.
this would track with that, would give you opportunity of a counter
Is
pick.
this
to
not
Peanut.
just a Trundle?
It should be.
It's a bit of a denial opportunity here as Peanut going through some
Oh
options.
no, he's
Shyvana.
playing with her heart.
Yeah, not this. The Shyvana is not playing with our hearts. That's making us feel a little bit upset. This is a pretty good Trundle angle.
Yes, yes,
I
it
think
is.
we've all spoken about Rumble Trundle. Not only do they say well together. It's not
Nhìn
how
cái
you
hàng
say
tăng
that
của bên
sentence, but
GENG
you
nó
understood
trâu
what I was
dữ vậy
talking
trời.
about. But also, there's a couple of tanky boys on the other side.
But he
Certainly be a
can't
good
ult
opportunity.
both, is the good news.
Oh, that's true. So maybe you just pick only tanks.
Oh, I
And you're
actually,
like,
no,
checkmate,
guys,
Trundle.
I see the angle.
Uh-huh.
Chovy Cassante mid.
There we go.
3 tanks, checkmate.
What's Ruler's tank of choice? He didn't even do so well in the awesome dude meta, did he?
No,
So not necessarily
Ooh,
something
delights
we'd
for
expect.
Khan. We were talking
Oh
about this at
my
breakfast this
God.
morning.
We were talking about it at breakfast. Chronicler, Delight's pretty good at this champ, right?
It goes back to the Brion days.
It
when
does,
Bro
doesn't it?
Delight, even though that team was obviously just trying to contest for playoffs, which sometimes they weren't even able
GENG
to.
quá
Say that,
trâu luôn.
I say the greatest team in the LCK.
Sure. We can have that discussion another time. But he did get bans on this, and that was with Bro really being a team that was struggling. That team relied on his sense of engages so heavily. I think that the Puppy unfortunately didn't quite have the mark, particularly that I've seen the
Cậu
line
quen
have
bích
on the
rồi.
exact champion.
Cậu quen
But
game
this
trước bích
is
rồi.
pure comfort for him, and already you have so much setup here for the Rumble. As
Gentlemen,
I do not like this one bit.
you don't like it?
No.
I've
No.
seen so many highlight reels of him
No,
doing...
I know.
I know, but like,
No.
it's not the fun way for GENG to win.
There's
You know?
so okay.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to say, like, I feel like there's very few champions that Chovy kind of isn't known for. And I feel like that there was a very famous clip of him versus Faker and some stuff happening in top lane. And
that was a great best of 1 or best of 3, but that specific game was really good. I know, but I'm looking at this top side, and I know I'm falling into the trap because this is GENG, but I ask, where is the damage?
Nhưng mà game trước thằng Viper đánh con ngưu rất hay quá.
I'm pointing at
Not
the
for the
Victor right
first
now.
2 items.
Thiệt
Oh,
sự
they
rất
don't
tiếc
care
cho
about
thằng
that,
Viper
man.
game
It's
trước.
all
Nó
about
đánh
skill.
xích
That's
đúng
what I'm
ghê
saying.
I
luôn.
know I'm falling into the trap.
You are.
I like the Hanwha angle so far.
Well, the way
Also
that I
picking
think about it,
Victor into Trundle like the pillar, I don't like it.
I mean, HLE is set up beautifully in this game. They also, like, they could also pick Annie here if they wanted to. They could go for the Rise Group special. Just, it would be just a Wukong away.
I have actually reconsidered. I do like it because it ups the odds of Humble Life, bringing us to game 4.
There we go. He's
I've
finally
come
caught
around on it.
He's twigged. It's perfect. I love that. All right, so let's see what the last ban is
Xa
here
da
on
bên,
GENG's
cây
side.
xa
Could be a
bên
Kai'Sa
luôn.
or something like that. We wanted to
Lucian,
do
maybe?
the
On
Kai'Sa
GENG's
Rakan angle.
side, I'd be very surprised if GENG went for Kai'Sa. I think they want to do the
As
opposite.
in
of
banning it, yeah.
Oh yeah. That makes a ton of sense.
Smolder.
Smolder?
The obvious ban, that is, in this instance.
I wrote a
Okay,
list of
Salo.
champions that I expect to be contested on
Oh,
AD.
no.
Smolder was not on that
You need
list.
to borrow a pen. Oh, no, you go on. We're fine.
That's
Okay.
all good.
Are GENG gonna do the draft 5 scaling classic? Is that what we're? That's what we're looking at.
Guys,
If
I
they're
I mean, the
banning
last
5 for
game
Smolder,
went to like 65 minutes, so...
Guys, I have a feeling Zeka might be thinking about an Akali Sylas angle.
I do like the Akali angle here.
Yeah, but it depends on
lot.
what this AD carry
Giờ
is.
còn
if they even
Kai'Sa,
lock it in.
Caitlyn.
Because there aren't
It
really
was
many.
support,
Because
I
with
think.
Xayah's gone,
Very.
you see. So with Xayah gone, no Braum, and specifically no Lulu.
Go Leona. They go Leona Jin and really hone in on the.
Oh god, not Jin. Don't say that.
could.
If you manifested a Jin right here, I'm going to be quite bothered. A
If
Caitlyn
it's
could be an option,
Leona
but
or
instead-
Bard, it will be Jin.
Ooh.
Oh,
okay.
Duro.
okay,
Okay.
well-
Okay, so now
Bam.
the reason why I think Akali is good is like I don't actually think there's enough to stop Akali just kind of doing whatever she wants to do. There's also a Sylas angle, just because it's Zeka.
Đó.
And Tempered Fate can be a really good tool.
3-2 đừng có 3-0 giùm cái.
Oh, Sivir, I like this a lot.
I'm actually wondering if that why.
Đừng 3-0 rồi.
Alistar's been heavily banned right, throughout this
3-2
game. If that why Genji didn't want to go to.
Má, trận này kinh điển quá anh em. Thiệt là thằng nào về anh Ti cũng tiếc luôn á, thiệt sự như vậy á.
It's really interesting though because Alistar
Cả
is
hai đều
very
là bố
good
của
into
Ti qua
Trundle
nên thằng nào
specifically.
về anh Ti cũng tiếc hết
But
trơn á.
that's what
Trundle
I'm
will
saying, I
probably
think-
be ulting one of the other mega tanks that are in this game.
Alright, well, what's the final lock-in going to be for Zeka? I feel like it could be an Akali.
I like Akali into Victor a lot.
Wouldn't mind it. The Yone angle,
Okay.
and he just locks it in. Zeka's Yone alongside Zeus' Rumble. If this doesn't give us
Zeka,
game four,
Yone,
just
thằng này
give
đánh
Genji
Yone
the
tởm
trophy,
nha.
I would be
know.
surprised if we get a Kai'Sa here. I feel like they want a little bit more range, maybe. Not that she... Oh, okay, they're going to... Okay. So the only reason why it surprises me a little bit is
Game 2 đánh quá tốn sức mấy anh em, mà thiệt
Kai'Sa
sự á.
definitely has poke, especially if you go for the hybrid
Game này
build,
mấy
like
thằng HLE
CW,
mà đéo thắng là áp
she
lực.
wants to
Thời
threat
game này áp lực,
Yeah.
đè nặng, cực
the rest
kỳ
of the
nặng cho
comp
HLE
doesn't
luôn.
really. They
Mấy ông
wanna
hiểu đánh một
play
trận gần
front
1
to
tiếng
back,
đồng hồ mà
and
đéo
they
thắng
wanna
tức
play
cỡ
with
rồi.
range, and they wanna play around their tanks as much as
Tôi nghĩ là bên
possible.
HLE game này nếu mà gãy tâm lý một cái thôi đi luôn á. Bởi vì mấy ông đánh BO3, BO5 mà mấy ông quýnh cái trận thứ hai, cái trận gọi là ta,
Well, I also
cái
think
trận gọi là
that
bước
Kai'Sa
ngoặt ấy.
Bard is
Cái trận nền móng cho cái trận mà
I think
1
this
là
is a
2-0 hay là 1-1 ấy.
Yeah.
Mà đánh 1
What?
tiếng đồng
What
hồ
is
mà còn
it
thua
with
nữa chứ.
game threes,
Má gặp tôi
Genji
đánh,
and Homolive
tôi đánh
esports
game Tốc
and
Chiến
this
30
being
phút tôi
the
thua, tôi
outcome.
muốn khùng
This
luôn
is
á.
what happened in the LCK final as well. The last time HLE
Cho
did
nên
manage to take
là
that game, but
game này mà
the
HLE nó
series
không
was
thắng được.
nowhere near
Tôi
as
nghĩ là tâm lý đang
tumultuous
rất là
as
nặng
what
rồi,
we
cho
have
nên nó
seen
cần
so
một
far
trận thắng
today.
để bật dậy.
For
HLE mà game này thắng được là 2-2
You
chắc
have
chắn
Zeus
luôn.
on his Rumble, Zeka on a melee champion that synergizes well with Rumble, and the light work. If this doesn't do it, I don't know what will.
Yep.
I'm looking at
exactly
my
right.
list and I was like, Caitlyn, Jin, Zeri.
HLE mà game này thắng một cái thôi là chắc chắn đưa về 2-2 liền. Tâm lý tụi nó bật
There
lên
are
liền
some
luôn.
things that he could have chosen
Nhưng mà game này bắt buộc tụi nó
instead,
phải thắng
but
anh em
this is Rula.
ơi.
This is a guy that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
who am I to
Does
doubt
Kai'Sa.
Rula?
Does Rula play Zeri? I'm not.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Hey, gentlemen, he's locked in Kai'Sa. And ultimately,
Bình luận chuyên
we'll
môn
see
một
how many
bên à.
pilots the
Bình
champion.
luận chuyên
Because
môn
we're
một
gonna
bên
be
thì mình là
for
một là bình luận viên phân tích hay là bình luận viên đọc giao tranh thôi, chứ vừa làm hai cái mệt
Genji
lắm.
with match point as we load
Anh
onto
Ti có thể là
Summoner's
bình luận viên
Rift.
gọi là chuyên
You
môn
can see
phân tích
Peanut still
được.
in high spirits,
Chứ đọc
having a
giao
little
tranh
bit
anh
of a
Ti
dance
lú.
here. As here we are, this could be it for our first best of 5. Well, second best of 5 of Worlds 2025. If you include IG versus T1 all those days ago. And remember, log into your Riot account on lolesports.com and watch Worlds live. to
Trận
earn
đấu này chúng ta
exclusive
sẽ nhìn
Worlds
về đội
modes,
hình của hai
icons,
bên.
and
Coi thấy là cả
capsules. I
AD
need
và
to
mid
make
đều là
sure
hai con tướng lay
that,
cả.
you know, I let you guys know that
Yone
right
lay,
now,
đối đầu Victor
because
cũng
we
lay,
may
Kai'Sa lay, đối đầu với
need to,
Viper
spend a lot
cũng
of
gọi là
time
con
talking about
CV
what's
cũng
gonna
lay
happen in this game,
luôn.
because it might be over quickly if HLE manage to get their fangs
Nhưng
in.
mà bên phía bên đội hình của bên HLE tôi đang nhận thấy là đang cực kỳ thiếu tăng nha. Chỉ có đúng một mình con Trundle nó tăng thôi, với lại con Rakan tăng, nhưng mà Rakan tăng đâu có trâu đâu. Cho nên là bên phía bên đây là đánh kiểu ồ đam ấy, kiểu giao tranh ấy. Cho nên phụ thuộc cực kỳ nhiều vô thằng delay luôn.
Honestly, like, I don't think
Delay
we'll
mở
see
đẹp là
people
bú,
wall
nhưng mà
this.
delay mở đẹp thì sao à? Bên đây còn con ba của Duro. Con ba nó cao tơ giao tranh cực kỳ tốt luôn em.
Oh, she did, yeah.
I mean, we saw her this tournament.
I know.
Alright, so as you can see, normally you'd expect double range champion, get that early
Đang
prio.
cả tí
that
không
would
bỏ
make a
cuộc
ton of
tân đề
sense,
boss
but
chết 2
Viper
lần
starting
FF.
with the W, already looking to get control over that wave. In the mid lane,
Boss
we
chết
very
2
much
lần
expect
xu
Jovi
mẹ tốn thời
to
gian.
have lane prio. Victor
Boss chết 2 lần
is
xu
a
mẹ
very
luôn,
impressive
mới
lane
tốn thời
bully.
gian.
Zeko going to be using the fleet.
With some shove towards his bottom side, but not necessarily anywhere else. The early laning of the Scion being very, very good. As you can see, 3 to 12 on the top side of the map. First couple of waves being well and truly in Keen's favor.
I do also like to always think, particularly with how close this series has been, and even though it's 2-0 for GENG right now, could have very well gone the other way. What you're also picking away from your opponent in Fearless, right? And when you look at that, I do
Cặp
actually
đường
think
trên thì
that
tôi nghĩ là Rumble sẽ có lợi thế
as
trước
well
con
as the
Scion
Yone
thôi.
pickup to me carry
Scion kỳ này
crazy
khó
amount
thở
of
lắm.
value. I think Viper has been the
Trừ khi
standout
có một
guy
món
side
phòng
of the
thủ
Oscar for a very long time.
level 3.
And then Chovy's
Chien nó
Yone
quýnh cho.
really doesn't need an explanation, although we are
Lắc quá vậy ném.
seeing Zeka as expected, as you highlighted that he really struggled for a very long time. And then
Có một
Chovy's
4-0
Yone
luôn.
really doesn't need an explanation, although we are seeing Zeka as
Không, mọi
expected,
người ơi,
as you
coi
highlighted
bên,
that he really struggling,
Bên lon
which
eSports không
pre-6
bị
is
quyền.
always going to be the case.
I mean, that's assuming we even get there. Chronicler, let's
I am
not jump ahead. I
I'm
know
optimistic.
we are obviously very excited for the possibility of more games in this series, but right now GENG have just been getting the better of HLE when it comes to the team fights. Those have been the deciding moments. As Peanut looking to
Peanut
leverage the
cướp luôn
bot
ấy.
lane push, as he steals away a jungle camp from
Nó cướp
Canyon, and
luôn
he's
à.
going to secure the bot crab as well.
I like the skin choice as well, when you get to put down a traffic cone, and Canyon has an ability that basically turns him into a car, and so does Keen. It's just kind of nice, like synergy.
Peanut, I love this, because he knows that, Kenny's going to try and double cross him, but there's a ward. Because Peanut
and
knows...
immediately turns around.
Yeah, Peanut knows he wants to play, and he doesn't have bot side prio. He does have mid lane prio, though, and Chovy is...
Delight is
I think
moving
Canyon
up.
thought
Bi
he
nói
didn't
quyết định là
save the
đéo
wave.
cho ca nhìn
Delight
farm
is
farm
going to
cua
move
luôn.
in. Duro's on a ward as Viper is going to move up
Không
as
có
well.
Sima,
2
vẫn chưa có
versus 3.
Sima, đó
As
là
Peanut
pha
makes his
Sima
way
chuẩn
over,
xác của
Canyon
của
does
ca nhìn.
manage to get the crab, and HLE not quite able to punish as never mind, traffic cone goes up again. Canyon's like, I'll reverse out of here. It'll be fine.
Well, I will say this was an ambitious play from Peanut. The idea being to deny as much away from Canyon as possible, but a lot of time was spent, which not really
Trời ơi, nó né kìa.
Supercharged.
didn't really
Trời ơi,
result
nó
in
né
any
cái vòng
benefit
cung
gain. He will now
Hồi
move
xưa
towards
anh
his
em nào
Crocs.
gọi là có gọi là
But,
chơi gọi là
Yeah, his jungle camp
chơi
throw
gọi là
timings are
tuôn
going to
ấy.
be a little bit
Trời ơi là
awkward. You'll have to
nãy
reset
đu
and
lên né
path back towards his top side where he'll look to secure that top grab, I imagine.
Yeah, right now HLE building themselves a little bit of an advantage as far as how these lanes are doing. Zeus managing to pull
ZK là muốn
himself
gặp
back
T1
in the
rồi.
lead. No, this guy is pretty good at playing the Rumble. We'll see how it develops as this game goes on. And Zeka is a great Yone player, but you're always just going to have a tough time this stage.
I gotta say though, I think he actually already bounced back really well. I think Chovy was really trying
Cái
heavily
pass
to push
Vien
the
này siêu
wave
hiếm
to
luôn
help his jungler,
Hồi
right?
xưa
'Cause
cái
Canyon
cũ
wanted
tôi
to
có
play
pass
for the grab.
Vien
Zeka
anh em.
does have a lead, which is
Đi cái sự
crazy.
kiện
Even
gì
those
của
health
Tốc
bars, I was like,
Chiến
well,
của
obviously
Liên
he's
Minh
been
được
having
ấy.
a tough time.
Yeah, once the
Được
wave
bắt
is catch, I
CV luôn.
think it will basically equalize. But what happened is I
Bắt
think
CV
Chovy used
với
all the
lại,
skills on the wave, trying to get
hồi
push
xưa
so
là
that he
cũ
could
của tôi
rotate
mà
out
bị mất
Canyon.
là có
But
3
then
skin.
Zeka obviously won the
Bắt
trade
CV.
because he wasn't getting poked down.
Riot
Chovy
cây
was
le
trying to
với
just
lại
keep his
Riot
control.
Nasus.
And that does mean, like, if you go into
Trời, hồi
6
xưa
with
cái
no
anh cũng hơi bị
deficit,
đỉnh
that's
luôn,
just
má
straight
bị-
up winning, right? For
Dạ.
Yone, he just wants to get through lane.
Also didn't have to teleport. He holds onto
It's a
it,
big deal.
walks all the way back to lane.
Well, I think the other big thing for Yone as well is just early on you often prioritize Zerka's Greaves just because it's just such a good item on the
Yep.
champion. But you'll notice Zeka picking up Vampiric Scepter because he knows how much damage Chovy's going to be throwing out. So when you combine that with the mitigation from the second
Trận
wave,
này tôi nghĩ đầu
along
game
with
ru
the
ngủ
life
à.
steal from
Tại
both
trận này đầu
the
game không có khả
Vampiric
năng
Scepter
lộn mấy anh.
and also the healing he's going to get
Hai
from
trận
his
trước đánh
fleet
lộn
footwork,
vì xè
it's
bằng
gonna
bà
make
lằng
this
đúng không?
laning
Còn
phase a
còn
lot
cái trận này
easier.
chắc chắn là ru ngủ
Chovy's
luôn.
back as a result is a
Bởi
little
vì trận này
awkward,
không có
though,
khả
'cause he
năng
wasn't
những
able
con
to
nào mà
actually
mạnh
pick
đầu
up the
game
lost
á.
chapter, which gives him a lot more longevity
Saiyan đéo
in
có
a
đàm,
lane
Scanner
where
đéo
you're
có
always
đàm,
gonna be
Victor đéo có
outsustained
đàm.
because of the sustain.
Cái sao đéo có
Silas
đàm.
is resourceless.
CV cũng vậy.
Whoa, Peanut, you do not have mid prio.
Do đầu game đéo có đàm
Still
luôn.
on this dragon though, is Canyon moving
Có
his
mỗi,
way over.
trên đồ
Keen
game
here
có
towards
thêm
the
miếng
bottom
đam.
side, laning against Viper,
Rumble
which
cũng
is
có được
interesting.
miếng,
Knockup not gonna
nhưng
connect
team kia chắc đéo
onto
đánh
Trophy
đâu,
there
team
as
kia
Dura
từng nó
makes his
farm
way
thôi.
around. He's looking for a few meeps in the river. As Equalizer is making sure that tempo is controlled here by Zeus as he looks to push Ruler away.
Trời ơi, né hết
Good
luôn.
side steps here as once again Peanut tries his luck at the dragon. Some double teleports coming on forward here at the same time as Delight and Zeka make their way back onto the map. The benefit here of Zeka making sure that he held on to that summoner spell. Peanut could be in trouble though, as you can see, only level
Chết
5.
mẹ Peanut ăn
For
lờ
the
rồi.
if he wants to get out, and he does so. Canyon doesn't necessarily need to, and he decides to double back. Viper in a lot of trouble as the Arcane Storm doing so
Vẫn chưa ai nằm xuống cả, đó là một pha lao vô. John vẫn chưa chém được ai, Peanut đang tranh thủ ăn cho mình con rồng. Và bên đây đang được Duro người nào tiên xuống không? Duro nằm xuống chắc rồi. Ấy, ủa gì á? À, Duro nằm xuống rồi và con rồng thuộc về vị trí của Thunder. Hèn. Đây là mơn game này HLE thắng giùm tao cái. Làm ơn HLE game này thắng cho một cái, tôi cần một trận BO5. Đừng 3-0 giùm, xin cảm ơn.
He was forced to flash out very early on. He was collapsed on by GENG, but GENG have their AD carry top lane. Victor doesn't do any damage this early on into the game. And so in the extended
tao coi
fight,
full 2
HLE is
trận
just
đó
going
mà
to
không
win because
coi
they
ha.
have more skirmishing power.
Tao
So
coi
if you look
full
at
2
this,
trận
the
luôn
collapse
đấy.
from
Trận coi
GENG is
1 tiếng
good.
đồng hồ.
You get the flash out from Peanut. But the moment that Zeka arrives,
đánh
all of a
rủ
sudden
rồi.
the landscape changes because the damage just kind of disappears. Zeka gets to force Dura out. Viper flashes away to safety. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, GENG's just forced to retreat.
And there's the teleport invested to really solidify that this was going to go fully the way. If they get another kill as well, could have been a big deal there if Zayce is able to pick it up. But as we highlighted, he did use his ultimate on the
CV
top
có
lane.
mạng là tốt này.
But that is an early objective lead as
CV có
well as a
mạng đầu
kill.
chút ném cái
Going
sao
over
bị-
the Viper. And if you're just tuning in and you're like, why are we only on game 2?
Is this
Tính
game
coi
4?
stream một
This doesn't
mình.
make sense.
Đúng vậy
It's not, and it's because of that man, and he's already sitting on the gold lane.
Yeah, Canyon going for another drive though. Let's see.
Hey,
The suppression
John
does
cho
come
Vi.
through as Canyon holds Peanut in place, but
Rồi, cho Vi lụm
subjugation
rồi.
is very
Ủa,
powerful.
chưa lụm
Chovy
nữa vậy?
in so much trouble, but he keeps
Đi
himself
lại.
alive. Delight tries to get out, and Ruler with the ulti is going to
Ủa, sao
take
thiếu
him
đam
down.
vậy ta?
It's a double for the Kaiser as GENG. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're winning the team fights.
A lot of ultis unavailable.
Sao pha nó thiếu đam vậy? Cái gì lắc rồi. Đừng có lắc
Wait,
nữa.
but the grubs are being taken down by Canyon.
I love that while all of this is happening, Ken's like, yeah, I can take the grubs, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered. Starts emoting in his face.
Rồi.
And,
Vậy là
his
nguyên cái server lắc chứ phải có
basically
mình tôi mọi
the
người
light
ơi.
with only a hammer, not gonna be able to
Lắc
chew
up
through
legend
him.
nè.
As this time around, as you highlight, Vedi,
Ê,
a
tôi
lot
tưởng
of
mình
key
tôi lắc,
cooldowns
ai ngờ nguyên
not
cái server
available.
lắc anh em ơi.
Immediate
Phải lỗi của
seconding
mình
off
anh em
of
ơi.
Peanut, and Chovy somehow making it out because
Nó
Zeka
quay
doesn't
qua
have
cắn
his
cho
ultimate.
Vi
That
cái là
could have been
bú
the
rồi,
lockdown
không
that
nào
would have
cắn
allowed
cho
him to
Vi
take
hết
down that
trơn á.
Victor.
I mean, yeah, HLE should have just accepted, hey, we got that earlier dragon, we're happy with that, but they wanted more, they wanted to deny GENG as much as possible. And the key difference, Ruler was there in the fight this time round. Viper
Viper
getting
may not
below.
be there on the map for very much longer, but does have barrier to keep himself alive.
Kênh
And
mình là
so
kênh
Chovy
lậu
is
số
gonna be
1
able to push
tốc
him
chiến
away,
nha mọi
but not
người
able
ơi.
to quite get the kill just yet.
Kênh
Gold
mình là
now incredibly
kênh
even.
stream lậu số
And
1
as you
tốc
point out,
chiến.
Chronicler, that's a very large ruler. And maybe this is what we forgot to take into account, is the fact that it's just the ruler factor. And maybe his Kaiser is just going to be enough to bridge them towards Chovy having 3 items
And he has his
doing way
license.
too much damage.
He's allowed to play Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
You know, he spent the appropriate amount of
Yep.
time in the LPL. That's what you need.
He
You
paid his
LCK?
LPL dues.
No, can't do that. As Ruler currently sitting on 2-0, and him being in a good position is a very big deal because again, if either of your two carries fall behind in the composition like this, you are really going to struggle. The fact that Cho was able to pick up 2 early
Má
assists
tự nhiên
is
Ruler đang
also
học thọt
a
cái
big
về
deal,
bú được cái mốc
really
gì thị quái
accelerating
luôn.
this Victor.
So, the only concern I have for GENG, and I'll use some language that I learned from my friend and colleague Kadrol. What will Chovy do when a Rumble ult and Zeka's ult is dropped on his head?
Flash or die?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe just say, hey, ruler, can you kill them all? Maybe that's what he's going to do.
it's because the problem with these compositions. Zeka,
They're going to be slammed into the wall here momentarily. Does throw out the
Hey,
ulti. Canyon doesn't
stop.
stand in front of it.
Má
Try
pha nó
and
dính
catch
cái
that
rờ
one
đi rồi đó.
out. But still, now it's on cooldown, and HLE lose a big tool for the next fight.
Zeka actually had to flash to make sure that he didn't
Oh,
get caught.
true,
Yeah,
okay.
so that was very close to hitting.
Chovy.
Oh, might be in trouble here. Does have his flash.
Zeka doesn't have all of his tools available as we just saw, so not going to go for anything
Cho Vi
just
đánh
yet.
Giòn áp lực quá hả?
But I do agree that
kèo này
for
trên
me,
tốc
the
chiến
Hollow
là
Life
do
composition
dính chết
just
mẹ
has
Victor
so
luôn nha.
much pick potential if anyone ever oversteps.
Well, here might be an
Ui,
example.
ui, ui,
Unless
ui,
Zeka
ui,
just
ui.
dies, he takes the gravity field, gets stunned up, but then does just go back.
Cái
And
kèo người
Chovy
trên tốc
just
chiến
lives,
nha,
he just
Giòn chém
walks.
chết mẹ.
Oh, the guys
to
to
luôn á
W as well. Chovy, I really thought he was going to get his Siphon power up once again, but maxing out his E, doesn't have the cooldown just yet. Wow, very close one there. At the very least, they get the base off for Zeka.
Kèo này hồi
There's a
nào cũng
small
biết to
gold
trên
lead
tốc
for
chiến đánh
now,
lại
but that
Giòn.
minion wave is going to disappear as Chovy drops the E.
Ở trên nó bị đồ
Fortunately
lâu
for
quá
HLE,
nên lũi
Viper
không
will
lại.
make his way over towards mid lane to catch this wave. Nothing really lost on the other end. So a very close game once again here 12 minutes in. Dragon is alive. Right now, looks like both junglers will be making their way towards it.
Yeah, it looks like Canyon going to be getting there a little bit sooner, as of course he can traverse walls a little bit more effectively. Peanut should be able to get on in here though, but GENG with control of the river right now, and HLE with control of the wave. Understandable, they have a Sivir, as Canyon moving on up on the hunt is going to be popped to make sure that HLE going to be able to stay
luôn vậy trời,
alive.
yếu không dí vậy.
There's a decent cooldown, now unavailable. Ward inside the pit, as Chovy picks up first item and is going to move over to help out with this one.
That's just gone.
Yeah, Keen spotted on the top side of the map, but it's not going to change anything, as down goes the dragon. That's going to even things out. Hex Tech Soul. Gentlemen, that is, we may not have a 65 minute of this time with a soul like that on the map.
I mean, I think it was wise of HLE to avoid fighting without hitting those item spikes. No Trinity Force on Peanut, no Blade of the Ruin King on Zeka, in contrast to the Heartsteel. And
Trận này đúng kiểu ru ngủ vô, tao nói đúng không? Nói trận này đánh ru ngủ, trận này không đến hai bên không đánh được sớm. Hai trận trước tụi nó còn đánh nhau ì xèo mà lần mấy game này đúng đánh ru ngủ luôn mà.
Can Zeka get the gold that he needs in order to finish his item? Quickly looking, he needs about 500 gold in order to complete his item.
Cả hai bên không có bất cứ một sự chênh lệch nào luôn mà ngang tiền luôn anh em. Thật sự cặp đánh đều cực kỳ luôn á, mới mà tiếc cho thằng HLE cái hai trận đều thua hết trơn.
Helps him to deal with the side
HLE
as well. Obviously,
nên thắng được một trận.
He might be in trouble. There's no ult and Peanut's there.
Speaking of the Scion, the knockup is not going to connect as Peanut throws down the ulti to start this one up, and without the ability to turn into a train, this Scion is just a matter of time before he does go down. That is kills evened out. As even the traffic cone there to make sure that Zeka stays alive.
He needs 100 gold. He needs 100 gold now. Which he should be able to get in time. This wave is going to
go down. I think that should probably secure it.
Oh, it absolutely should. I'm expecting a back to immediately cut. There it is. And so he's going to go back to base, pick up that Blade of the Ruin King. So everything working out nicely there for Zeka.
I'm still surprised about how much control GENG have had in this early stage of the game, though. And they still have a little bit of a gold advantage, although nothing really to write home about.
I mean, we're surprised, but are we really surprised?
No. Well, I mean, sort of. I feel like I should be surprised, is I guess the better sentence.
I do think in Homewa's case, though, they should be feeling a lot more confident. Vedi already highlighted the spikes that have just been hit. In Zeka's case, both helps him deal with the very beefy frontline, but also just makes the entire kit of Yone just feel so much smoother. You get a lot more playmaking potential. Triforce done for Peanut. And we'll have to see as this Herald fight commences. I think Homwa Life, for the momentum in the series as well, getting
giờ hai bên phải
a
đánh sứ
victory,
giả
I think
mới
would mean a
có
lot.
cái để coi chứ giờ mà nhường sứ giả này ru ngủ tiếp.
Life's not going to be good.
Đánh không?
Well, let's see whether they're going to try and contest
Rất
for
có
this one.
tele
It's been
luôn
on
nha.
Canyon. Both
Rất
in the
tele,
area.
chin tele luôn,
One
phải đánh
Viper
lộn
moving
5
on
vs
over
5
as
đấy.
Ruler making
Rồi
his
đã
way.
tele
Spot on
rồi.
vision as he gets over here.
Sao
Duro
là
might
người
be in a
tele
little bit of
trước?
trouble as Zeka come on in as
Rumble
well.
cũng đã
King
tele sau.
does get knocked up as Zeka discovers him
Đây là
from
một
over
pha
the
5
wall
vs 5
as
khu vực này, liệu anh
Z's
muốn
on
tranh hay
through as
không
well.
đây?
Duro takes the magical journey,
Binus
but he
vào,
doesn't
Binus
have
tranh được không đây?
that.
Binus không tranh được vị trí của người trên scanner rồi. Giờ đang Chien chém không được, do nó phân bóng về rồi. Nhưng bây giờ combat cực kỳ loạn, cả hai lao vào nhưng vẫn chưa có ai nằm xuống cả. Rulo vẫn còn sống, Rulo đã bị nằm xuống rồi. Duro đang bị thiêu đốt, Duro đang bị thiêu chết, Duro bị đốt, quá trình đốt rồi. Duro là người nằm xuống, HLE đang người cái đội thắng rồi. HLE nên chiến thắng.
And
Tôi ủng hộ cho HLE game này.
with great execution punished the hubris of GENG. They say you really think you can just take us in a
Mặc dù mất cho mình con sứ giả nhưng mà bên phía HLE đang là đội tuyển có lợi thế nhiều hơn. Pha đó rớt mà thiêu đốt rồi. Rủi lông lờ của Kaisa. Ma này má Kaisa bị gọi là rớt thiêu rồi rủi lông lờ luôn.
The biggest thing for me is they won this fight without Zeus using ult. I was waiting the whole time for that red carpet to drop, and it did not come through because he didn't have it available. But they played the front to back. Chovy was constantly being zoned off by Zeka, and the moment that they locked down Ruler and removed him from the fight, I mean, the damage just disappeared for GENG.
And that's the happiest I've seen Dandy so far today.
Viper có cho mình 2 cái trang bị rồi, đó chính là lưỡi hái linh hồn và chết rồi, cái đồ trong tiếp team cái đó tôi kích là cái đồ trong tiếp team đao kiếm gì ấy. Cái đồ nó có giống Gunso không vậy? Nó có giống cái nội tại trong tiếp team không? Đồ mới với tôi ấy. Tôi chỉ biết nó trong tiếp team hoặc nó tăng tốc đánh với lại tăng đam. Không biết là trong đây có giống nữa. Đao chớp.
The one that makes you move fast.
I know. I've also blanked on it.
Sorry?
Cosmic
Drive.
Yes.
There you go.
They've got 2 drivers in the game. It does make some sense.
Well, yeah. I'm just making sure. Oh, Pina behind them.
Yeah, looking for Duro here as he does go for a very short magical journey, but the red carpet you were talking about, Eddie, is going to be laid out for him in the Bard. Not going to be picking up any chimes anytime soon.
Should be an easy dragon secure as HLE finds another pick, brings the scoreline to 7-3, and the vibe in this game feels very different. It feels like HLE has just
Kaisa 2-1-0 farm 170 nhưng mà tiền lại gọi là hơn được CV 202 farm 180 vậy. Có bên nào mất trụ chưa vậy? Ủa sao hơn được ta?
Whoever gets that is going to get feats of strength as well. So this first Drake is
thêm 2 cái sub luôn mà farm hơn 10 lính luôn. Mà vẫn thằng Ruler vẫn ao, thằng kia gần 300 tiền, what the fuck.
And the 1-3-1 like it could be something pretty scary here for HLE to wield because they have a Sivir. She clears out waves in mid very, very effectively.
One of the things that GENG can look to do is try and play around now that Ruler has hit level 2 on the ultimate. Is playing to both sides, right? Find the ability.
Zeus moves out of the way of Canyon at least, but I don't know whether it's quite going to be enough to keep him alive. The Impale is going to be invested as he lasts a lot longer than we expected, but that is going to be still shutdown gold going over to Keen on this Scion.
Even there you saw it. Ruler was actually pathing over. He was like, oh, it's for me? Free kill? Can I get that one? But not actually working out. Zeus there know that he has to dodge the ultimate from Canyon, so he's just waiting and waiting. But then they just kind of slowly hit him to death.
I did love that Zeus was like up, down. He was trying desperately to dodge away from that ult, and it was kind of Canyon just watching him.
Upgrade some shoes.
ZK Free là ngon rồi đấy.
They were not impressed. They're just like
ZK Free là thấy ngon rồi đấy.
Grasp autoing you to death.
It's like that scene from Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all the flourishing, the left and right.
Yeah, I know that one. That gave me nightmares as a kid. All right. It did.
Are we talking about the same scene?
Temple of Doom? No? It took a very long time to do it. Okay. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the gun out, sword out thing?
That one, yeah.
Ah, yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah, I thought so.
Mine was a bit more morbid. I'm not going to lie. All right. You might know what I was talking about, though, and
truly,
it is relevant to that.
Does feel like an LCK cast now. Thank you, Vedi. I'm glad you brought us this. This is good stuff. If Atlas doesn't go off topic at least once,
doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right.
Viper going to be able to spell shield the Void Seeker, so not going to be too worried about that one. And so now we're waiting for an Otacon.
Họ ta đủ Baron là Baron Nassau.
Oh man. Oh no. I'm not going to say what I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'm just not going to.
Excellent.
I'm not manifesting things anymore. I'm not doing that. That's in my past. This is a new me.
I don't know what you're referring to,
he
but
wants to write it down desperately though. Yep. He really just wants it to be.
Nope. I'm not even going to mention it. It's obvious, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it.
I'm completely missing it, but I think that's good.
HLE are going to start off the Otacon, and let's see how it goes. I have no...
Gì ăn dương hết cha, gì ghê vậy?
TP.
Yeah,
Herald's there as well. Okay, I like this.
I think they got what they wanted.
Just back off. It's good.
I'll take that one
ball
away.
wave is quite awkward though.
Dạ, rớt lời tele rồi. Vừa coi được một cái tele của thằng kia này rớt lời tele rồi.
Doesn't look like it.
Rift Herald is going to be driven into this outer turret. Still going to be able to get that charge. Let's see if Canyon can get himself out of here. Zeka finds the knock up onto Canyon. That's the smite to be taken down. The quickness invested. And Canyon should be going down, although he does spend some time driving.
Canyon đi thì Atakan đi.
50% as the equalizer comes on in. Tempered Fate finds absolutely nothing.
Chạy rồi.
Pushes to get himself out of the way, but Zeus
Delay đúp đi đâu vậy trên nội. Ruler tới, Ruler bắn rồi không đây, Ruler vẫn đang bắn, Ruler không nào bắn 1vs4 được cả. Người nằm xuống là nghĩa là Ruler, khi mà người ăn mạng đó chính là Viper. Bên phía đây thì sao Duron đã nằm xuống rồi, khi là người cuối cùng sống sót nằm bên phía của GENG. Có vẻ như là một trận đấu 2-1 rồi. Tuyệt vời anh em ơi. Game 4 rồi.
And HLE find a convincing fight once again.
And it's again the hubris from GENG. I think what we see is Canyon starting off. He wants to try and dodge the pillar.
Well, so
he
by
wants to
dropping
get
it
the
into the
charge.
wall, it gets the extra charge.
Exactly. Instead, so he ends up going down. They do a
Nhưng mà thật sự là
great
HLE nó win
extended
cái này
engage.
thôi là
You
nó
can
bắt
see
lại
here,
là
whittle
gì
down
liền á.
Canyon, that's one. The light follows up, forces Chovy to back off. And then even though Chovy only gets slow, takes a little bit of damage. Watch this flash from Zeus. Zeka's ulting to make sure he gets on top. And Zeus says, with this rumble,
HLE nó win được game này lại kéo về 2-2 luôn, thề luôn á.
he's toasting the GENG backline, and then Ruler here knows he's dead. Probably could have just not gone for the whole play at all, because this is so many summoners invested, and Hanwha Life with what I feel like, and this is a very cautious statement, the biggest lead we've seen so far in the series, maybe.
Cái gì GENG về lấy mạnh. Cái CV, ui mở đẹp quá. Ui một pha cực kỳ đẹp đến từ vị trí của mưa tên lửa và kết hợp với lại khiêu khích. Trời ơi, một pha 3 người và một pha khi mình không biết vô không trung.
20 seconds on this Drake, and that should be soul point for HLE.
I mean, HLE are no strangers to this
Trời ơi,
composition.
CV là lay hơn cây xa luôn á. Nghĩ sao là kêu GENG lay hơn vậy? Không có con CV nào lay sợ cây xa, đủ nó bắn cây xa bệnh luôn á. Cây xa về lay cũng gặp CV tuổi lồn chứ nó mà bắn. Mấy chưa bắn được gọi là kích đụng cái nội tại là CV ném được 5 cái rồi.
Zeus might be forced to the same thing here as quite able to catch up. He is just looking to run away, almost tries to dodge, but the Arcane Storm, it goes down, and Chovy is able to collect the kill on to the Rumble. So, the answering Drake is going to come on through, but that is soul point for a Rumble. And I think you probably take that if you're HLE.
Good deal.
Not bad.
Gentleman, Viper has found his way into a 5-0-4 scoreline once again.
Trời ơi, Duro đánh 3 dở à.
He does. He doesn't
Duro đánh 3 không ra chấp tướng 3 gì luôn.
He just finds a way of being good, you know? He does do that. That's like his base level. Just good. Yeah, really good.
I want to highlight Peanut as well. Right, there's been particularly in the 2023 GENG years, Peanut really struggling to perform internationally the way he does domestically, where he was obviously doing an incredible job in the LCK.
It was even when he went as far as Busan, it was still too far.
Still a struggle.
And things didn't quite work
we thought
out.
it was his powers were tied to Soul, but as we're finding out, thus far on the Trundle actually having a crazy impact in, again, what could be his final series if they do not complete the reverse sweep here.
Yeah, we have to say thanks to LGD for making him feel at home when he was here last time around. Maybe channeling that to get some comfort as HLE get the knock up onto Duro, still able to go through the traffic cone.
Still barred.
Yeah, still magically journeying, but it's still going to be a red buff taken away. And HLE are just moving into the enemy territory and taking it over.
So there are some very deep wards on the side of GENG, but I'm thinking, like, who would use them? Like, if Keen is TP flanking, then you're not really getting the front to back that you ideally want.
Tempered Fate did connect onto Zeka.
Oh yeah, so he buffered his ult, so he was able to make it out as it hit him.
Aha, there we go. So gets over the wall, carries a Tempered Fate with him. But the Baron was started. Ulti for ulti is the trade, so you're not going to be too upset about that. As GENG as Peanut takes away some chickens.
HLE thì cộng 1 Starbucks à. Ok.
Slowing down as far as the tempo of this game is
Những
concerned,
kê
though,
cộng
and
1 HLE
they do
cho
probably
dễ
want to keep
yêu.
pushing, but I still think that they're probably fine as this game goes on.
Yeah, and I really don't think they need to, because obviously they don't have a traditional front line, but I think that eventually you get to a point, particularly when Viper finishes his forward item, Zeka already does a great job as the Zeus and burning for front lines. They are playing for the timer on this Hextech Soul, because once that is taken, I think the game just becomes nigh unplayable for GENG.
Well, I honestly think that the game plan for HLE is even simpler. So Zeka's about to hit level 16. Once he gets his Infinity Edge, which seems to be the direction that he's going in with his third item, you just put him in a lane. And then you just let him be.
Oh, and then he kills the Nexus,
and then the moment 2 people show up, you go to Baron. And then if they don't go, Zeka ends the game. And
See
I
whether
feel
they
like,
can work on that angle.
yeah, HLE I feel have so many options with how they want to play it. And
Bên
I
họ
think
lại
that if
càng
they
lay
want to be
càng
very
mạnh nha.
simple, they don't need to rush because I don't think their scaling is
Con
bad.
John với
Like,
con CV là càng lay càng
items
mạnh.
late game, like, I don't think that damage is a problem by any
Còn con
means.
Kaisa bắn không
And this
lại được
front
chắc
line,
rồi.
like,
Còn con
yeah, I don't think that Sion, as scary as Sion has been at this
nói chung
tournament,
con
is
Victor nó
tanky
gặp
enough
con
to
John khó
weather
chơi
the
lắm mấy
storm
ông.
of a Trundle and these three
Con John nó mà rời trúng Victor cái là Victor đi luôn.
And if
Victor
he's
đéo
not
chạy
there,
được.
there's another tank for Peanut to siphon all
Do
of
nó
the
cao tới
stats
Victor
out
lắm.
of as well. So certainly
Nó hất đúng một hất
a
thôi nha.
few theoretical
Là John đi
checkmate
luôn.
options
He's not
here on
one for
HLE's
choice.
side.
Victor đi
I
luôn.
also think that Ruler is obviously forced to go for the AD build, but to me the AD build of Kaisa really feels like you need to get, which sounds obvious, but you need to get way more autos off. But into the composition of Humble Life, that's so much easier said than done because there is so much AoE damage as well, right? There's the ricochets, there's anything that Zeus does. There could be a stray couple of autos or a Q free from Zeka, and I love that Humble Life pulled the trigger here.
Ăn luôn à.
Trying to get themselves the Baron in this game number 3.
Liệu
Who actually
vậy?
took the southern hex gate as well. They have no idea about
Nhưng mà
this.
vẫn chưa
The
biết
Victor's
luôn.
on. Yep.
Ôi một phan qua
And
Ron lén.
Canyon just going to be blocked here by Delight. Ruler comes
Thôi,
over with
Neil.
a boomerang blade and they say
Neil,
thank you very much
Neil,
for this cute
2-1
purple
2-1 rồi.
worm. There's a minute until the hex tech
Má
sold,
Baron lén giờ này
and
thì
they
Neil
have
rồi.
Baron to get them the control.
HLE not wasting any time. They garner information of where GENG is on the map and they quickly convert it into
Nó rớt
an
xuống
easy
40 đợt
Baron
lính bự
secure.
chứ.
Arguably, this is
Nó
looking
rớt
like
xuống
the
40 đợt
most
lính lượng nữa.
convincing game
Yeah.
of
Thôi,
the
nhiều
series
quá
so
mà.
far. HLE do still need to close things out.
Hay gọi
Obviously,
nè,
we
10
have
game
commentated
năm
on
luôn.
how we're not confident in GENG's composition to be able to turn this game around, but GENG have proven themselves before.
Yeah, the players a different story, as we do have Ruler finishing off that IE. Now
items are both
looking to move
carries.
his way over. Knockup connects onto Peanut.
Look at the
Just trying to
ricochets.
soften him up as there is the equalizer right into the choke point.
Mưa tên lửa
But
không
not
đẹp
exactly
nha.
getting all the value that they want. We have redemption there as
Mưa
well.
tên lửa ép góc không đẹp.
It's okay, HLE will be able to push out this wave, utilizing the Baron.
The flash is
Zeka
gone.
gets himself out.
The flash is gone from Chovy though, and that's really all they wanted.
À, rồng 4 rất mạnh nha. Đây rồng gì vậy ta?
Yep, Zeka armed and ready.
Rồng gì vậy?
Drake is
Ôi rồng
gonna
công nghệ
spawn
mạnh
HLE.
điên.
Let's see whether they fight for this
Rồng
one.
công
No
nghệ là mạnh
equalizer
điên nha.
for it.
Linh hồn rồng là
It's
cực
gonna
kỳ
be
quan
Zeka
trọng
that
nha.
needs to make that play if they wanna make something happen. He
Viper
wants to
đứng
play
cẩn thận
angle.
giùm anh Ti cái
As he gets
Viper,
the
đứng
roll,
cẩn thận
he
giùm anh Ti cái
just snaps
Viper ơi.
back. Immediately Zeus just holding them at bay, and man, that harpoon did so much damage.
Hay.
Drives in, but it's
Đu
not
ra bốc
enough
hơi.
to start the fight off the bottom lane. It's been eviscerated.
Rớt bốc hơi được một người nào. Ê rớt bốc hơi được cả. Ruler luôn rồi. Thôi win. 2-1 anh em ơi, 2-1 anh em ơi.
Exceptional execution from HLE. Zeus almost able to get out of the
Rồi,
fight,
một
which
ly
would have
Starbucks
made
cho
it
anh
a
Ti
perfect
rồi.
ace, but they'll be happy with a 5-for-1 and a soul to boot.
Má tôi nói game này HLE tụi nó win mà.
Tôi
nói HLE này tụi nó win mà mấy ông.
These games have been so extraordinarily close until right
Trời ơi, game này mà
now as they come
game này mà
alive.
đứa nào
I
vô
think
HLE
it
là
was
bún
an
hết luôn.
outdrafting at the same
Hơi
time,
nhiều
but
luôn
you
á.
have to say as far as momentum is concerned, this is a huge deal.
Game này
to
HLE
bring
win là game sau HLE win
back
tiếp.
into this series.
Bởi vì sao ạ? Tụi nó lên tinh thần.
As I say that though, it's two inhibitors going down where it's singing the
Game
praises.
này HLE win sẽ là game 5 đấy.
I think it might be.
I'm feeling good. They
Má
have
đang bị dẫn trước 2-0 mà lật
And
như
an
là
11
lên tinh thần
kill.
chắc
I want
luôn.
you- Look at the ricochets and the harpoons. Duro and Ruler are just dying to poke. It's like one boomerang blade, a harpoon left and right.
Trời ơi,
and
một
then
mình đừng rớt nó
by the
ra
time
sao
the
nó
actual fight
khè.
starts, once again, GENG
Nó-
need to take. They don't have a choice. They need to deny this possible X-Tech soul. Both their carries are either
Ủa
flashless
nó
or dead.
khò.
And if
nó khò
only we
lửa, nó
could
khè
have seen
lửa,
this
nó-
issue
nó-
coming from
Nó
Joff.
đốt, nó cháy.
And you can see Dandy, not exactly a massive amount of celebration, right? I think knows that
Drop's
this
not
one
done.
is pretty much done, but they have
Khó
to beat them
rồi,
3
2-1
times.
rồi.
Well, in the series,
Đánh
it's
không
not.
được nữa.
In this game,
Yeah.
we're
10
looking
cá
good.
tiền anh em. Hơn 11 cá tiền anh em.
One number is not like
Trời
the
ơi má ơi,
others.
CV nó gây.
Whoa, okay.
Đó tôi nói
I
rồi,
remember some
CV
numbers.
luôn
Is
luôn
that-
mạnh hơn
is that-
Kaisa.
That's a
Không
big
có
gap.
con Kaisa là
That's
bắn
over
lại CV hết
9,000.
trơn
I
á.
would say that is the lead. You're exactly right. As we're now sieging on this last inhibitor turret.
Không có con
on the
CV
top
nào
side
bắn
of the
lại
map,
hết trơn á
equalizer
anh em.
goes down. Canyon trapped on the wrong side of it, but it is just going to mean that this turret falls. The Impale
Kaisa
is
tuổi
going
gì
to
mà
come through
chơi
different phase
CV
to try and hold Peanut
chưa
in
bắn được
position,
5
but
cái
he's
nội
not
tại
the
nữa là
primary
cái
target.
đầu máu không được
The
rồi.
Arcane Storm goes in, but it hasn't expanded just yet. And HLE, we'll see whether they can clear this last one out. They're not quite able to on this push. They have another wave coming in. The exhaust comes down. There's a great pillar once more. As Zeka gets on over
Đấy,
towards
mấy ông
Joe,
thấy không?
finds
Mấy thấy
another.
giòn nó chém chưa? Ôi, ôi.
From Zeka, welcome
Một pha R3 người cực đẹp của
to
GK.
double, a full
Kết thúc
house
luôn trận
against
đấu
the
và
top
nghiêng về tỷ số 2-1.
us to game 4
Trời
in
má
this
ơi,
match.
con John kìa.
This is what we were hoping for.
Mày thấy tụi nó đúng không?
Listen to the crowd as Peanut stands up.
Mày thấy tụi nó đúng không?
We've had a banger series so far. HLE have given us the most dominant game of this series. Definitely question marks around the
Mọi người
draft.
thấy nãy tụi nó đúng
that
không? Tụi nó
Gen.G
game này
brought
HLE
into
nó
game
win.
4. But
Tại nó
HLE
vô thế
punished
chân
them
tường rồi, nó mà
aptly
win được cái
until
game
they got a
này là
swift
game sau nó
finish.
win tiếp.
Big wins
Là
for
đưa về
both
thế 2
the
đều.
Rakan as well as for
Ủa, mắt
Zeus.
sao GK nhìn nó bự dữ
What are
vậy?
your thoughts on that one?
Cái đủ mắt GK nhìn nó bự lực lưỡng quá
they
vậy.
fight back. They were on the brink of defeat, on the brink of the end
Trời.
of the road at Worlds.
Má, anh
but
ti tưởng GK là một cậu bé
I
nhỏ
wanna take
nhỏ.
parallels to the summer
Ủa, sao
finals,
GK nó
even
bự
though
dữ vậy?
HLE will hope that it
Trời ơi,
doesn't
như người
end
khổng
up
lồ
like
vậy.
that at the end of that. But they wake up, and I think waking up is probably not the right word, Rob, because
GK nghe
they've been
tưởng là một cậu
incredibly
bé
close
chơi game nhỏ
in
nhỏ.
all of these games, but this is really a shellacking.
I mean, that's the point. For so often when we see these teams fight off against each other, it is incredibly close. It is incredibly difficult to figure out which way it's going to go. But as you said, in that road to MSI, it was HLE who went up 2-0 in the series, but it was GENG who were able to get the reverse sweep. The reverse sweep that people said broke Home Wildlife Esports, but now here at Worlds, they managed to find it in this game 3 to push us one step closer to maybe a better revenge for Hanwha.
And what about Worlds as the place for something that is broken to become unbroken? Emily, I know you have emotional investment in the Peanut story as well. So what is your objective thoughts about if this is also repeatable?
I don't have objective thoughts. I think the big thing for me, though, that I do want to point out, this was our most dominant game, right?
Yeah.
So HLE has been really chippy, hanging in there, right? We thought they'd be able to close it out last game.
Game hả? Một
Ended up
game hả?
dragging out GENG 1. I think the big thing here is I've
Một game
actually
chờ
really
đợi
liked their
hả? Rồi,
drafting
game chờ
across
đợi đi
all
anh em
three
ơi.
games. And in this particular game, they called it out on cast, but Delight was an absolute star on his signature recon, his most
game
played champion. He's
ARAM
now
hả? Rồi, anh em
67
nào
and
vô luôn.
40 on it. Some
Một
of those
game
games are coming
ARAM
from
vô luôn anh em ơi.
the
The not
bro
so good days, yeah.
Game
it
giải
was
trí
not
đây.
as good of a team. But I think you say it right here in this Rift Herald fight where he really pops off.
And this is the man who made his name with pop-off plays like this on the international stage, where he gets these engages that makes all the difference. The fact he doesn't get locked up and immediately turns it around, jumps onto
Rồi,
Ruler,
Ram
sets
đi,
up
Răng
for
là
the
không kịp
follow-up
sao?
from Hanwha, and it
Răng không
completely
kịp cái tự
changes the
nhiên đâu
outcome
phải
of
gọi
this
là
game.
chơi
Ruler, who
trong
was set up to be a
gì
carry,
nữa. Nãy
falls,
tôi mới đánh lén
now they
rồi.
get the needed gold injection that they wanted.
Nãy
And
tôi
then
mới
start
đánh
to
lén
be
hai
able to
trận
push
răng
the
win
game
rồi anh
forward in
em.
their direction.
And the light is also helping his
Độ mắt,
ADC
ta nói
saying
tụi bay
you get
sao?
to fight another day. I
Tao
saw
nói tụi
you
bay
play
sao, con
that
ra mất
6
sao?
game, you
Đây.
deserve it. And Viper
Tụi bay kêu tao
very-
chơi một game, tôi chơi một game nữa này, được chưa? Bên kia bích 3 con đam, một mình con này tôi đéo cần sợ luôn. Rồi tụi bay nhìn đam tôi nè. Được chưa? Con ra mất, cái bản này nó bị điên. Con ra mất thật sự là bị điên. Bắt con ra mất cho tao.
Yeah, these two AD carries know each other so well. Also, Delight wants right? He is against his former org who passed him over, you know. But I think in particular, Viper has been real. Like we pointed out how good Ruler has been earlier in the first two games. Viper, even in their losses, has been absolutely stellar. And there's a reason why we joke around in LCK that it's Viper Life Esports, right? Like he's always
Rồi, một trận ARAM vô đi anh em ơi.
if
Để đến
not
tỷ lấy
great
Faker
in
cái.
so many of these games.
Nhanh
Yeah,
nhanh
and it was a
nhanh
little
nhanh, khẩn
depressing in
trương
the
khẩn
first
trương.
fight where he's hitting the Skarner in the Rift Herald and the Skarner's completely ignoring him. But as this went
Một
on,
trận
Viper really got to
ARAM đi
step
anh
up.
em.
And I wish you could hear the crowd here
Yeah.
when
Chạy
Viper
vô đi.
pops off.
Yeah.
The guy who won
Đồng
Worlds
ý
with
luôn.
EDG. I was able to step
Nhanh,
up
nhanh,
here
nhanh nào,
in
nhanh
Shanghai as
nào.
well. It's been absolutely spectacular. And now he's going to have that opportunity to try and go for it
Đâu
again.
có là lâu tôi mới chơi
against
ARAM mà.
GENG, but it is so difficult.
Lâu lâu tôi vẫn chơi ARAM với lại
với
lại mấy đứa trong clan á. Sao mà đủ 10 người mà tạo custom.
China. Let's take a look at the Atakan fight as
Ủa, làm sao
well,
lấy được
because there was
Avatar
really not
Faker
much
vậy?
for GENG to do. Delight again, just pushing the
Làm sao lấy được
objectives
Avatar
forward,
Faker
right?
vậy
And
anh em?
just going forward, trying to get everyone charmed, and Yeah, it's a wash.
Yeah, and it started much earlier than this, right? With GENG kind of trying to do that Rift Herald play on the top side. It gets pillared, and then Delight just kind of takes over as the Vanguard, highlighting essentially targets for the rest of his team to pick off.
Sina cái này thật sự là bắn xa bút chỉ cả nè đấy niệm.
It's when you get Delight going for the engage of Rakan. He doesn't use the grand entrance. He just takes the charm, knows it's enough to get the Skarner, and then uses it onto Chovy, which starts that follow-up play. Same with Peanut with the ultimate. He's so slow, he managed to get the Scion pick at the very end, which sets it up. And that's why you can see on your screens, like, that was the turnaround play in this.
It was, but listen, I still don't believe. I have to say, I saw this just a couple of weeks ago as well. It was that one-off game from GENG, that one game.
Đâu có Avatar Faker mà tôi thấy có một thằng tên là T1 Faker nó chơi mà anh em.
Have you seen enough from the first
two games? Because I think
that's the difference with that summer finals game, that we can see a continuation here and a possible reverse sweep angle.
I think the thing is, people will be looking at the same draft issues again, going, hey, there was in that game 4, there wasn't enough, game 3 for GENG, there wasn't a huge amount of damage. That's why we got to that game 4. In this one, you took Scion and Skarner and just left Trundle across. There is still those draft questions, but for Hanwha, they have stepped up, they have fought, they have been grueling their way through every single fight, and that's why I think they can do it. This has not been an easy series for GENG, and now game 4 and 5 potentially here for Hanwha.
Lấy lọ Faker 3 lần trong RAM là có, ok. Ủa nhưng mà lọ Faker có xuất hiện gọi là trong một game 3 lần không? Hay là mình chỉ cần chơi một game thôi?
Finds the knock up onto Canyon. That's the smite to be taken down. The quickness invested, and Canyon should be going down, although he does spend some time driving. Delight now 50%.
Vậy chỉ cần lấy 3 lần Faker là ra đúng không?
Absolutely nothing. As Chovy flashes again, step out of the way, but Zayas has a flash as well and a flamethrower to boot. As now Ruler turns up, and he's turned up to a fight, and he is not winning today. And Peanut with a full health bar comes on in. Viper finds the kill. This is
Faker tao đau. Tự nhiên lồn rồi ra xuất hiện trời, Faker tao đâu? Thằng lồn nó xuất hiện trong cái lỗ của tao mày. Đưa tao Faker liền.
We have a new mode for you that we're calling ARAM Mayhem. It's ARAM, so we thought it combines all the fun, oddly cool variations of Arena with 5v5 ARAM games. We want every champion to feel special and get to explore some combinations and fantasies that they don't normally get outside of Arena. It'll be live at patch 25.21, so look forward to some mayhem coming to the bridge soon.
Chỗ sao team mình mạnh quá vậy anh em? Giờ đủ mấy team mình mạnh quá vậy? Này nè. Đó, team kia là cái đầu máu không rồi đấy. Rồi lấy hồn là liên tù tì luôn á. Ê! Ủa tôi mới chọn cái gì vậy? Tôi còn chưa kịp đọc nữa. Mới chọn cái gì vậy? Đủ mới chưa kịp đọc nữa. Tôi đấu cho Aram gì đâu biết nha không? Ủa nó đi. Ủa sao linh hồn tôi nó không tự thu lại vậy anh em? Ủa sao linh hồn tôi tưởng là nó tự hút lại mà sao nó không hút vậy? Lừa hả? Lừa hả? Tôi nhớ cái bản cập nhật kia nó bảo là linh hồn sẽ tự hút lại mà. Bố. Không bỏ cơ chế tôi thấy còn mà. Hay là Aram nó không áp dụng hả? Trời, thiếu mana quá anh em. Đủ má Xin nó bắn điên vậy. Thách đấu được vào lane không? Được ông ơi, ai vô cũng được cho lane tôi thoải mái mà. Lane tôi thoải mái muốn vô à. Đâu có cần phải thách đấu hay không đâu. Chỗ Xin nó bắn điên. Mày láo vừa. Tao lên đam mới phải lên tăng đâu nha. Mày láo vừa. Thằng ranh con. Có 2 lượt reset không biết dài bây giờ ra Faker hả? Quên em.
To Worlds 2025.
Quên
This
luôn á
is
chứ.
our first best of 5 of the knockout stage. GENG retains match point that HLE have managed to find a nexus in our third game. The fourth, it could be a timeline returning from the LCK final, but I think most of us hope that it's not.
And honestly, gentlemen, I couldn't have asked for better casting partners to cast a phenomenal series.
Ủa, chốc nó quỷ quá anh em. Chạy.
Absolutely on point, and I'm hoping for our sake we get a game 5, but I know that GENG wants to end things right here, right now, and it is a Caitlyn to start off the ban list.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy because we often do see teams choose red side when we get this deep into Fearless because counterpicks become that little bit more valuable.
Trời ơi, con Senna Vien này nó gớm. Để tự sát mua đồ.
See whether HLE can capitalize on it as the Kiana is going to be taken away from Canyon. An interesting ban because he hasn't found a lot of success on it, but obviously he has been putting a lot of time into it.
This Galio, I think, is a still very important pick. HLE have put a big focus on taking it away from Chovy, and I feel like they have to keep doing that because the moment that it becomes open, I have this instinct that GENG will want to grab it, so I imagine Galio will join the ban table next. Kiana already been removed from the side of HLE, and there it is. So they want to still remove that option. For any long-time Chovy fans of this, you'll know how terrifying it is.
There's many reasons why we have so much storylines going into GENG Home Alive. There's obviously the 2 teams and all the members on them really having, I think, so many different crossovers. You can think of, you can go back to Griffin, You can go back to even the way I think Adora and Delight bursted onto
Có
the
con
scene
sò
when they
cơm
were
bát
brought
vậy
into
nó giật
Gen
điên
G.
à. Thôi nó con sò đấy. Ủa, đánh chưa vậy? Sắp rồi anh em ơi, sắp rồi anh em ơi, em nhanh anh em ơi. Ben bích rồi, Ben bích rồi.
Obviously, in some of my favorite quarter opponents of all time, that Dumbo or Douglas versus
Trời đủ mà nó thì đứng yên.
I mean, this combo of junglers stole my hair.
They did. That did happen. Well, I wouldn't say stole. You didn't volunteer.
Well, I mean, a 10k gold lead should not be surmounted.
That's B1.
Wow. Okay. Ruler Yunara is the risk that HLE are going to take.
Thái Anh là thằng nào nữa vậy?
I mean, you know this is coming, so they must have an answer.
They have to.
Oh, it's this. Is it the Smolder Yunara? Are we gonna get the Smolder
Faker tao
Yunara
đâu?
answer in game 4 with their backs on the wall?
Faker tao đâu?
I do think putting
Thái Anh
all
là cái
stocks
thằng
in
lồn
the
đâu vậy?
Viper basket is a good call.
Yeah,
Based on
I
how
would
this
say
series
so.
has played out.
I mean, they're gonna have to lock the dragon here if they want it. Well, I mean, not necessarily, but theoretically, Trophy could pick it away.
Aurora is also open.
It's a big deal. Maybe the Aurora trade is going to be the option here, as Zeus and Zeka both play this champion very, very well. Peanut?
Also, junglers like always getting pinched. Yeah, Nocturne.
The Aurora Nocturne, this one's going back a little ways.
Not quite the same wombo combo, but it'll get the job done. Especially if that Yunara doesn't have her flash available. Of course, she will have the dash with her ultimate activated, but still a very scary dive threat to come.
Ủa đủ má Yasuo có RZ.
Already, I'm wondering
The
whether
fuck?
you would be looking towards some of the best build that's still
Cung hả?
available. Right? We're talking Kench, just to keep the Yunara safe. When the combo comes in of
Đủ
this
má
Aurora,
Yasuo đồ Z, the fuck man.
the Nocturne, yeah, Lulu's another one. Then you always look at like what's Lulu good with, but a lot of the best skirmishing junglers in the meta have already been taken out, right? The Lulu's Zinzao is one we always go back to. And this is
À, Thái Anh của Philip Phoenix đúng không? Nhớ rồi.
from Chien, and I do think, as you highlighted, it's important to remind everyone that this Aurora is still flexible.
RZ loại
So,
Faker.
this is
Má
the
thằng
only
kia nó bú
opportunity
được loại
for
Faker nhưng mình
Zeka
không
to
có à.
slam Silas, but blinding Silas into Chovy
Sao là Faker là
feels
tên gì
really
vậy?
bad. So I would imagine that they go for something a little bit
Nghệ
safer,
thuật bóng đêm á
which
hả?
this could be.
Well, the Smolder, if they wanted it, they needed to lock it in
Nghệ thuật
here.
bóng đi mà R Faker hả?
And that is what we in the LCK have sort of deemed the theoretical answer to the Yunara towards the bottom side of the map. Allows you to kind of match the scaling and things like this.
They can also swap, play the
Yeah, true.
the little dragon whose name Smolder.
Yeah, that's
They can
Smolder.
play Smolder
Been
into
a
the
long day.
Cassante, and then they can just have. I mean, I'm assuming this.
Má ra con chó kia nó kéo được tao vậy trời.
Or is a completely fine pick that they can have act in the 2 versus 2 if that very much becomes their early game plan.
Thế nó xài cái lỗi kia nó kéo nhanh quá anh em.
Naturally, Gen G will target that support pool as HLE want to mitigate mid lane options. Ari going to be one of the champions taken off.
Yeah, Ari has not been super successful, but that is a sign that Zeka is playing this Aurora. I do think there's also the Renekton, which does still provide a ton of value at this point, and something that Life could go towards if they want to run that into the Cassante, because we are rapidly, as highlighted, running out of picks. I was actually expecting a Silas ban, even though there is clear signs that Aurora's going to go in. I think Zeka Silas is for a very good reason. Very, very much clear that Alistair alone, I think, makes that pick.
Má, hai này nó trâu dữ trời.
It almost needs to be banned. As Gen G, yeah, they're not going to take it away first up, but they do have another ban left. Let's see whether Chovy is going to get
Lẹ
targeted
câu hỏi là nghe hả?
instead.
Rồi,
Canyon leads
tới đâu
in,
rồi?
taken away.
Ben bích gần xong rồi anh em ơi.
Well, that was only earlier on.
Chỗ đánh rồi.
Like, that's something that can
Ê, con gì kìa, con gì nó free kìa, con gì nó free kìa anh em.
I don't think it's good, but you know what? When I see Canyon lock in a pick, I'm just like, all right, Canyon, I trust you.
What about
không kịp quá à.
Renekton Italy mid jungle?
Okay, no Renekton.
No Renekton's allowed, and they're going to ban it away
Ok, thôi,
themselves.
ra nhanh anh em ơi, ra nhanh.
A part of me would think Zeus would be considering something like a Camille right now, if it weren't for the fact that I very much expect
Vậy là
HLE
chưa
to
được lõi
swap.
Faker nào
I
luôn.
very much expect this Smolder to go top lane.
Yeah, just pick support here, right? You keep hitting where everything is going.
Yep.
Still
Hold the flex.
Still a ton of flex potential available, but Leona synergizes as well with really anything that you have so far. Just having the ability to set up for dives of the Aurora, as well as provide Smolder with easy ways to either stack or call his mom for help. And Gen G,
Probably Annie for Chovy. At least on paper, that's kind of what would make the most
Hơn
sense
đánh
to me.
Aram á, là đánh răng là đéo kịp rồi.
Could certainly be an option. Still, a lot of things that he could decide to play.
Insante ca nhìn cầm đi ra ly á. Dám chơi không?
We get Canyon Nidalee in theoretically the last game of the series, or he has to lose on his Nidalee for us to go to Silver
Ca
Scrapes
nhìn
and have a
cầm đi ra
potential
ly
reverse
à. Ê.
Okay,
I need to ask our stats. Does this
Tôi
round
nhớ có một
lose
trận
on
ca
Liên
nhìn
Minh
cầm
Huyền
Nidalee
Thoại?
đánh với T1 năm trước, rất tự tin bích Nidalee xong thua.
That's all right.
Tôi nhớ hoài luôn, năm trước ca nhìn gặp T1 bích một trận Nidalee game 5 hay game 4 gì đó, xong cho T1 cho đi về nước luôn. Chơi về nước, chơi về nước phóng giáo luôn.
Has loved this champion and a lot of range, a lot of holding them at bay and a lot of
Căng rồi anh em ơi, căng rồi anh em ơi.
A little awkward,
Ê mà bên kia con Simon Derlay là quất hết nha. Simon Derlay là húp hết nha.
So this very much suggests the potential. Oh, that's the other one I talked about.
Oh my goodness, are they gonna do it?
Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. Come on, Zeus.
Yes! Let's go!
Camille vs Sante.
They hovered the on and I bet Zeus was like, do you think I'm a coward?
Thật là căng thẳng anh em.
Oh my god, I guess, to be honest, when he sees Nidalee and Hui, like, Camille is just so much better. Like, what are you afraid of on that side? You've now got Camille, Nocturne, Aurora, such a prevalent dive threat.
So we got Zeka on his Aurora, which he's not allowed to have.
Yeah.
Viper and Ruler in a scaling matchup. Chovy on a Mage. We have Canyon on a signature Nidalee. We have Keen Sante, and they both have engage supports.
The one thing that I'm a little bit worried about on GENG's side is Nidalee Hui. What is that supposed to do?
Poke you. Lock you.
Yeah.
It's not the craziest
It's the ARAM version that we're getting here.
I think in theory, there's a lot of the GENG comp that doesn't allow you to play disengage, right? Into anything but Camille. Camille, to me, is such a nightmare to play into. And both Keen as well as Duro are gonna have to keep that backline safe. If you can absorb the initial brunt, at least up until Smolder's online, I think GENG have angles in the fights. But if you are fighting with your backs against the wall, you've this many buttons to push, if you're Hanwha, it's in your own hands.
I would agree, but I do think that there is an element of execution that wasn't there in the last game. They have to be on the same page. They have to get these R buttons working together. And man, we are staring down the barrel of Silver Scrapes and a potential reverse sweep for our first best of 5 of the knockout stage.
Is it weird that I really like HLE's comp?
No,
like
it's not. It's a really good-looking comp. It's not weird at all.
Because also I'm just
you do love Nocturne though, so I'm glad you checked your bias.
That is
a little, yeah.
But the Smolder ulti on top of everything as well.
Yep.
I just feel like that they've got so much threat.
They do.
So much threat, and I don't feel like GENG have enough protection. I mean, I'm excited, if nothing else. As you guys mentioned, so much comfort on the lineups of both sides. And when I predicted the Nidalee and the Camille, I didn't really think it would come through. But the reason why I thought it was because when your backs are against the wall, when you have to feel like you have to perform, sometimes you have to default to comfort. And we're getting to see that here in Game 4.
We are. And Canyon has taken over games to the point where the compositions don't actually matter. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
On a champion like this. Like, Peanut could just find himself with no camps left on the map and unable to do anything.
As Canyon is playing his own skin, which is always a nice
I mean,
flex.
this is like by a million miles the best Nidalee skin, and she has great skins.
I really want to highlight as well, because we have cost our fair share of Nidalee Canyon games. In recent times, I swear there's been like 3 matches where he gets killed early, and you're like, oh, that's... Oh?
Speaking of killed early, Chovy in a bit of trouble. Keen coming on over to try and keep him safe.
Okay.
As Chovy walks it off. Okay, a little bit awkward there, potentially for the top laner.
Well, both top laners. Zeus has started with E.
Yeah, not ideal.
And we also have standard lanes as well. So it is going to be Cassante into Camille to start this one off, as our scaling ADs just going to be doing battle.
And they're both scaling ADs as highlighted. I do think that the Yunara we have seen, Ruler in particular, look extremely impressive the moment level 6 gets available. Not unlike Zeri, where her all-in potential actually catches a lot of players off guard. Now, with Viper's performance thus far in the series, I don't think he's going to fall for that trap, but they will have to pay their due respect. And then we have, of course, both junglers looking to do very different things. Canyon just wants to get involved on the map. This is his trademark pick, won a world championship, he has his skin, and even if you go back as recently as last year at MSI, this was one of the standout picks that GENG heavily relied upon versus Peanut, who just wants to get to 6 as soon as possible and then is looking to take over the game. And I'm going to obviously defer to you, Vedi, as the de facto Nocturne expert.
Well, you've got to be careful about me being a Nocturne expert, because my expertise very much is around Nocturne mid lane, which Ryan nerfed into the ground after
justifiably
a pro or two picked up by
It was a problematic champion.
No, it was fair, balanced, and enjoyable for the whole family.
I think it was just a missile.
In any case.
It was a missile, and then everyone died.
I have many fun facts about Nocturne, so if either of you are interested, please don't hesitate to ask.
Are we talking
All right, what is the best Nocturne skin?
The
and
best
why
Nocturne
is it spooky
skin,
ghost?
that's the second best.
What is the
Eternum is the best Nocturne skin.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is. The sound effects are glorious.
I'm Team Spooky.
Yeah, spooky. It's just so the little ghosts on the Dustbringer.
That's true.
That are like.
Nhưng mà kèo này Camille về sau không có sợ
Zeus
cái
and
sinh
Keen
tê
doing what we expect, which is just fighting one another over and over again. But this is the Keen Sante, and this is Zeus on a hard carry in the side lane as well as Canyon searching for an opportunity here. Zeka taking a bit of damage already here in this lane.
So,
Keen Sante doing some work here as Zeus gets the physical shield,
but there
to keep
is
himself alive.
Yeah, but Keen is building a really big advantage here towards the top side. Actually, he just uses Cookie, but still has a pod. Zeus needs to be careful. He does have a ward, so he should not get hit by this. And I think going for a dive is overly ambitious, so they're not going to decide to do that. But it does mean that there's a little tempo advantage here for the GENG top laner.
If the ward wasn't there, it might have been an angle.
Might have been enough, yeah.
If they had have actually hit the spear, but gets a lot of heads up as far as where that was going. It's all right. Another little headbutt comes on through here from Duro. Knocks up Delight as we head back towards the mid lane. And we have a Zenith Blade going in. Achu is going to connect here as Viper. I mean, I don't even think he minds about what the trades do. He hit 2 people with an Achu.
Well, he's
feeling fantastic.
He's actually running PTA as well. So, like, in these short trades, he actually does a good amount of damage. Zeus is still here.
Not really where he wants to be. As the Q is going to connect Keen. Can he get the solo? He cannot. As he tanks up the turret. My God, this top lane has been insane.
That's not bad for Zeus though, because he has TP, so he's able to trade health. It's actually might be
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's still here is the most. He's like, I've got to get this wave. He wants to get a juicy base off.
Just one more wave. Come on.
Just
fine.
One more wave. Oh, the cannon, the cannon.
Oh, Zeka picks it up.
Nice owning there from Chovy though. Okay, Zeus.
All right, I'm
Trời ơi, thằng Keen nó cao tao hết chiêu luôn á.
The Q3 has one off from Keen. He will get a tower plate, so a little bit of extra gold for him.
And Zeus does manage to get the cannon. That's kind of the
Ủa,
main
xử lý lính. Ôi, rất xử lý lính với trụ hay nha. Hụt có một con à. 2 con.
Chovy doing great in terms of health, but Zeka not really too bothered. Actually, when it comes to the CS department, doing a great job here on the Aurora. And obviously the range advantage is always going to be there for Chovy. But for me, his struggles start post-6 when both Zeka have easy ways to get on top of him, and he's going to have to contend with the threat of a Nocturne at any given point in time.
Exactly, and Peanut, as we can see, level 5 now is just booking it, trying to get towards that level 6 as quickly as possible. And oftentimes, Canyon is able to abuse jungle matchups because he farms so much more quickly. Nocturne will be able to keep up for the most part, doesn't necessarily have the same kind of gank potential, but will definitely be able to eat through the jungle. As we're going to have a look here, 46-11 is a relatively good record, as 9-2 on the international stage.
He's only lost 2 games internationally on this champion.
Yeah, đó.
That's
2 trận ca nhìn thua trong international record đánh là T1 1 trận đó nè.
Oh, absolutely.
In 2021.
Trận này lên 9-3.
Ruler might be in trouble. There's 6.
Zeus waited. There's a Hextech ultimatum, and Ruler, when asked the ultimatum, he says, I got nothing. He flashes to try and get out of the way, but the flash and first blood for Smolder.
Nhường mạng cho Viper luôn mà.
And of all people that got the kill, it's Viper. And it's a setup from this Camille. Zeus happily second his own lane. If it means he can set up, he did TP back here. But he's fine. There's coverage. Peanut's there.
Spots out this ward, knows that it's there, is unable to clear it just yet. As Canyon shares in some of this plate gold.
Okay, he is really going to be falling. Yeah, okay. So the experience he will get, but he is falling very far behind when it comes to farm. Might also set up a dragon here for GENG. Still Peanut.
Zeus hasn't based yet.
No, and he doesn't have TP.
He's getting a lot of value out of that Doran shield.
I mean, but he really
So he
needs
teleported right to the bottom lane. Is that what he did? Like,
yeah, he was top. He was waiting in the brush, cancelled his base, ulted ulted ruler, made sure he was dead.
Pha đó Z nó bị tele vội á, nó chưa giải tầm luôn mà. Vừa ấp lòng xong tele xuống liền luôn. Nó nên mua đồ rồi tele ra thì cũng phải mất lính nè.
Hello,
Camille, can we spend some gold, please? Chưa mua đồ hết trơn hết, xong rồi thành ra bị mất lính thua lên luôn. Cũng mất quá trời lính luôn hay không?
I don't know if he got both plates in bot, but he's sitting at a 635 gold lead right now.
Cái hình tề nó đánh nó Roxy luôn.
Zeus, you need to back.
No, he needs
but he can't
the wave.
back. There's too much fun.
And they know, I think, as well, that Peanut's towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, do you think they know what's happening in the bottom lane, GENG? Like, look at that vision. Look at all of those wards.
Zeus is going to base. This is his moment.
We are so excited about Zeus going back home. Guys, this is one of the biggest moments. He hasn't even channeled it yet.
Hôm nào coi giải tao mới uống, thường tao mới có uống đâu. Coi giải tao dễ buồn ngủ.
No, he's playing the game where you need to build full items. Full Trinity Force coming in first up. I hope that's not the case, but Canyon moving on over here as they start up the grubs. HLE in position to fight as Zeus still hasn't based.
They can't contest this. Keen is going to be here.
No, but ruler isn't.
He's looking out to the bottom side. It's okay. Mom comes down. Fair bit of damage comes on through.
Rồi.
To snipe
Không dính ai hết trơn.
Grub out of the way, so it should be 3 going over to GENG as Peanut gets in there to try and steal his. There we go. Finally, he goes back. Doesn't finish a complete Trinity Force, but Chien and Phage nailed it.
Okay, well, in theory, his trading should be significantly better than it has been.
I reckon that's backed up with a fair bit of fact there, Vedius.
But the awkward thing for HLE is they sent their bot lane to top, which meant that they weren't really in a position to contest Dragon, especially given that Zeus hadn't base and TP'd straight to bot lane. But then GENG reset Keen after he shoves in bot side. Zeus can't TP or get involved in the fight, and given the Smolder is still scaling and their mid laner only has boots, it would have been a very risky fight for them to try and force, given their position. So first two objectives of the game going the way of GENG, and a lot of it off the back of Canyon just playing through his pressure lanes. And I think back to when Damwon won that World Championship, the meta was play for your jungler. Utilize your pressure in lane in order to allow your jungler to do whatever it is that he wants to do. And that was Canyon's meta. And that's what teams have to do when they play with his Nidalee. And that's what we're seeing on our screens right now.
It's working pretty well. But the Keen Sante, man, we've seen this work before. The Kasante Nidalee. And I think it could work in this game as well, because this guy is so formidable. Viper, he's here with a bit of damage, but Keen just walks out of the way.
But he's also been 1v2 for like half of this game.
Has he? It doesn't look like that.
Well, no, that's my point. And that's one of the things you did highlight, Vedi, that one of the worries that you do have with the Camille is what is happening to, as we can see, as Zeka is now answering to Hanwha, is that they are, even though 5% in great spot, they're kind of behind in tempo on these swaps. So GENG have just been continuously swapping to make sure that they keep the Camille in an awkward spot, whereas Keen obviously doesn't really care being in a 1v2, was actually trying the base there to maybe rotate again.
So the way you fix this if you're HLE, Nocturne presses R on Ruler. Right, and so Camille plus Nocturne plus ideally Delight is there as well, but you just set up a pick onto Zeus, and then this deficit doesn't matter, because the moment that Zeus just gets a single kill to get the ball rolling, gets that first item completed, he's back in action.
Well, everyone's here. Zeus does have the hookshot. Circle not going to quite be enough to do it. Zeus will be able to back away. Still hasn't died. It's kind of crazy that our only kill is onto Ruler earlier on in this game.
It's so awkward now for Zeus because this wave is slow pushing towards Ruler. He can't afford to approach yet. Now we see Peanut and Delight doing exactly what they need to. Path towards bot to provide him with a little bit of freedom. And Ruler now like, okay, we'll push that wave back out. Overall though, game very even state. While Keen does have a big advantage, Viper has an advantage of his own. 20 CS, well 15 CS the lead along with that kill. Viper is looking very scary on the Smolder with 86 stacks so far.
This is also a really easy game to read, and at one side, very clear, at least up until Viper gets, you know, up to his stacks and has RFC. And even then, I would argue that the comp as a whole is still dive. He just gets to do some poking. It's poke versus dive. On one end, you have Hanwha Life, who have so many tools to go in, start fights, and need to take out the key carries. On the other end, you have Canyon, Chovy, and Ruler. They're just trying to poke or
Team bên
get
đây
as
có
much damage as
Camille
possible.
lane.
Duro and Keen standing bodyguard. But the tools for Hanwha Life
Aurora
are
lane, con rồng lane mạnh
really,
nhất.
and this keeps repeating.
Bên kia
They're-
thì có
particularly the Camille
Hawaii
Nocturne
lane,
combo is so hard to actually do anything against. So I
Lunara
think for
lane.
Gen G, it's actually really
Cái
important
center
that
thì
Canyon,
cũng
Chovy, and
dạng
Ruler
khá là
all
trâu
stay in
đấy.
good position so that if you lose one, the other two can cover your bases.
Well, Viper picks up that cannon quite nicely here as Chovy taking a little bit of damage. And here on the bottom side, Zeus shows himself to Ruler. Canyon and Duro in the area. And it looks like HLE want to deny some dragon stacking here. The ability to equalize things is theirs. Zeus could be in some trouble though as he tries to get himself out. Canyon misses the spear though, so it looks like Zeus will be allowed to live for the moment. The rest of HLE starting off this Drake, but it looks like Peanut and Delight not going to be able to continue anything. Base we have, teleport available for Chovy, going back to base, and we'll head back in.
Doesn't finish his item.
Yeah, Blackfire Torch not quite done just yet. And he's just going to be wandering back towards that lane.
Zeus is the bigger threat here, though, because he's still farming at waves. He has to be close to his Trinity Force soon. He's going back to base now, did tick over to level 10, and with that TP, I imagine, you can see the Aurora collapsing as well. HLE are committing to this dragon.
Yeah, teleport actually to the top lane. Kind of insane here as Keen can teleport back down if he would
Đánh
like
luôn
to.
rồi,
Teleport in from
đánh rồi,
Chovy. They
đánh
are
lớn
going to
rồi.
contest this. There's the Pulverize onto Delight. He's got the Eclipse to keep himself healthy.
Mai.
As Canyon comes in,
Ủa,
there
chứ
is
mẹ
the
cướp được
smite
rồi.
from the Nidalee. Works very, very well. Meanwhile, fight towards the top side of the map as well as the all-out comes on through. Zeus does have the hook shot, just gets himself out of there. Another Hextech Soul. And Gen G one step closer to that soul point.
And Canyon is able to not only get the dragon with the execute on the pounce, but also note, Zeus tried to TP in. Or rather, Zeus also, I think, tried to join the fight and got stopped in Keen, which is
Má,
why he
con
was in the
Cai nó
river.
mạnh.
Maybe the Camille could have been enough.
Tầm này Camille vẫn chưa đánh lại, Camille phải 3
Zeus
món
TP'd
mang
to
ra.
top, and so then what Zeus did was he fully committed onto Keen to prevent him from being
There
able to
you go.
TP towards the
But
bot
Keen
side of the
didn't
map.
actually use
Exactly,
the TP.
but that was the whole point.
Camille 3 món
Basically,
mới đánh
Zeus was
lại
trading
chứ
his
đủ, tầm này
HP bar
Camille
to
nhót.
prevent Keen from TPing in because, as you identified, if Keen had TP'd into that fight, it just would have been in disaster.
But they still got the dragon.
Yes, they did, because Canyon's Nidalee has a 9-2 record internationally.
Yeah, and also an execute, which is helpful. Peanut tried to make something happen there, of course, does have the Hex Plate now completed, so that ulti is going to be coming up relatively soon, but no assists on this Nocturne. And we talk about Ultimate Hunter quite a lot when it comes to Nocturne. You do really want to keep that cooldown as low as possible. Needs to start assisting in some of these kills.
My frustration with Peanut is I feel like he hasn't been pressing his ultimate enough.
Yeah.
I feel like that given the position Zeus was in, you want to just throw that out, if nothing else, to try and get flashes from your opposition, whether that be Chovy or Ruler, because around those dragon fights, those flashes being unavailable is a very big deal.
And also, you're not going to be out power farming the Nidalee. Like, it's just not happening, as we are already seeing. So I want to echo what you said. I think we saw some hesitation there, whereas if they had trusted Zeus to cancel the Keen's teleport and actually committed, I think that fight was playable, right? They did get Canyon's flash, but just flash alone doesn't mean that much. And now Gen G get to do what they love, set up and poke.
Trời, bên kia không tranh mục tiêu nào
just
luôn vậy.
engaging onto this Rift Herald as Delight makes
That's a
his way
commit.
over. They know what's going on. Mom comes
Trời
down, doesn't
ơi,
do
rồi
much
mẹ vô
of
tác
anything
dụng.
at all. But man, that Achu doing a lot of work.
Đi Mai!
Zeus moving his way in. That's going to be the steal on the Herald. Between Worlds comes through as well, but Chovy
Tốt.
takes first blood
Ê,
in
nhưng
the
mà
fight, but now it's HLE's turn.
đụng má
As
cây
the
center nó mạnh.
Sante says not today, HLE turns around and slams them into the ground.
And the trade goes in favor of Gen G. Hanwha do get the Herald though.
Nè, Kim
Eye is
Santen nó
picked
mạnh
up
quá
by
mấy không?
Zeus, but that is costly, not just because
Kim
of that
Santen nó mạnh
initial
điên
trade,
vậy.
but top lane turret will fall.
Gen G demonstrate how difficult it is to pull off this composition from HLE. They threw every single member onto a single target, but in doing so clumped up for Ruler to dish out the damage himself. And with Keen being as strong as he is at this point in the game, it is a terrifying situation. We look back at the fight, the ulti used early from Viper as Delight uses the Hex Gates to get in from behind. Keep your eyes on the positioning of Ruler here. He has to move into the brush. Fog of War, he's not the target. Now they're all clumped up. Gets ulted by Zeka, but look at over the wall. Damage after damage. Chovy with the assist, throws out the ultimate, connects onto 3, and then Keen cleans up Zeus on the back end.
And even though Canyon dies, this is what we were talking about. As long as 2 of the other members are alive and well. They're going to be feeling good. And at this point in the game, Chien is also just a straight-up carry. He already had a lead. The one-item spike of that Iceborne Gauntlet is a big menace. And they got Herald, but it looks like they're going to have to pay with about a 3k gold deficit. Now their jungle is just getting invaded and Kenyon's just getting blue buffs.
He's just stealing it all away. Chien grabs himself for blue as well. Did he flash over the wall?
No, dash.
Ah, dash
bounced.
over the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, I need to keep track of
Important distinction.
Yeah, dashes or flashes over walls. It's very important. As the eye was picked up by Zeus, of all people. Should be him taking down a turret. He does manage to do that.
Bóng dáng những người rừng thì may hồn đều có hình dáng của tôi.
He's not going to use it?
Well, we'll see. Paranoia is going to come on through here. As Zeka could be in some trouble. The Q3 connected and down he goes. Peanut in trouble as well as the redemption. Gonna barely be enough to keep him in this fight. In the meantime, the Rift Herald is getting involved, but they take the inner turret. And that's an even trade.
That can't happen. You can't die as Aurora with flash up when your Nocturne's ulting. Like, you need to respect Aurora is one of the most slippery characters in the game. You can't just be caught by the Cassante there and end up dying, because if that doesn't happen and you just wave clear, Zeus is winning a trade for you on the opposite end of the map. I say, okay, he is out.
Yeah. I mean, that single fight, it feels like that has just broken HLE now. The advantage
Nhưng mà
that
Viper
Genji has
vẫn còn cơ
garnered off
hội
the
nha.
back of
Viper
that
chưa
has
nằm xuống
given
một
them
lần
so
nào
much
nha anh em.
control over the game. Remember that Viper had a healthy lead over Ruler, and that's just disappeared, as only just now does Viper finish his second item. Dragon spawning in 4 seconds, and HLE have no position on the map. Just look at the vision coming through from the side of GENG. The entire enemy jungle is littered. HLE have a few wards here and there, but they are not in a position to contest.
That's the whole point. Where did the 2k gold lead come from?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out as well.
Jovi's been farming like a madman.
Oh, right.
Zeka just died bot lane.
So we are approaching 210 CS. It's not even 19 minutes.
Oh. So I was looking at Zeka being like, oh man, how did you fall so far behind? He's ahead of the clock. He's like, it's the same as the clock, basically.
A little behind, but it's not too bad.
It's not the worst.
Yeah,
well, it is, actually.
Chovy's the quiet carry in this game for sure. He's not making huge, flashy plays, but he's doing exactly the one he needs to. He's farming very well.
How loud do you have to be a loud carry? Because I watched everyone explode in the river.
Chien is the loud man.
I was ready on this one.
I was pretty loud about that guy too.
The thing that has to change is HLE need to be finding picks on side, and the problem is, I don't know at what point you're strong enough to kill Chien. In theory, it's now. Zeus is level 13, Peanut is level 11. Between the two of them, they should be able to kill Chien. The question is, what do you lose on the cross map?
And my mind keeps going back to that second Drake fight.
Cái nhìn nó đánh con
If they get that
con
dragon, the complete dynamic of this game changes, because Viper actually gets time to leisurely build to his 225 stacks. I think you might be able to get a second item on Zeka as well, maybe on Peanut. Right? You have a lot more time, you have a lot more lead. They don't have a choice. In 3.5 minutes, they are going to have to all-in fight for this. I think Zeka should be able, or Viperetta should be able to hit his stacks. But the game position right now isn't great for Hanwha Life, and they basically don't get a do-over. I say that as maybe they catch Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy caught out of position with that solar flare. He has to flash as Peanut gets in there. The fear is beautiful. Spiraling.
Ui, không chết Chovy luôn.
And Canyon takes down Peanut.
Hey.
1 for 2 so far as Ruler. Now just trying to kite this one out. Zeus in so much trouble.
Nhưng mà không hay lắm.
Pep it into the back of his skull. As Viper and Zeka now trying to escape, and the damage is just
má,
too much.
nhìn nó sợ quá anh em.
The spear just barely misses, but they're holding them in place. Another spear flies through, and Chien just dashes on top of the dragon. Zeka gets torn apart, and GENG are looking for a repeat of the LCK finals.
It's 20 minutes into the game, and GENG ace HLE.
Trời ơi, con Nocturne đéo có đam luôn. Nocturne combo dồn với con Leona vậy mà đéo giết được con Hawaii luôn mà. Má thiếu đam quá.
For Hanwha Life, so many things enter the opportunity for Zeka to try and get back to that World Championship.
Nó còn end nhanh hơn nữa.
Peanut, his final dance as we take a look. Yes, they get Chovy, but it actually takes a good amount of time.
Trời ơi, nãy giờ gọi mẹ hụt không mà. Thằng Viper gọi mẹ không có mẹ gì luôn á. Thằng Viper gọi mẹ không có mẹ.
Chovy getting his ultimate off just before he fell was so huge, and the collapse from GENG was so quick. that HLE, desperately trying to find any pick that they can, ends in their demise. An ace on the side of GENG. And you can tell the coaching staff feel like that this game is done and dusted.
Helper is looking absolutely manic right now in the coach's booth. And Zeus, the stark opposite of that one, as HLE's hopes are swiftly getting torn away.
Nãy giờ gọi mẹ hụt không?
5.5k, the gold
Chưa có
lead.
một pha nào bằng Viper gọi mẹ trúng luôn á.
9 kills.
Hồi nãy nó gọi mẹ trúng
100% KP
trúng cho Vi là bú rồi.
We talked about the Nidalee, but like the stats really do back the man. There is a reason why this man is so feared on this champion. And the comp, again, just doesn't matter. When he has this champ, it feels like whatever comp he's playing with bends to his will.
Atlas, I know what we can do to save this, and I think you do too.
No. Well, okay, sure. Peanut, spiraling despair coming on through here. Yeah, I'll shave it off. If they win,
I'm with you, brother. Let's go.
Together
for scrapes.
Oh, I love this. And potentially our last cast together of all time.
Viper has hit his stacks.
All right.
There's a dream.
230.
Ủa, Viper bao
I'm
nhiêu
getting
stack
worried,
rồi ta?
actually. These braids are really fun. Took me a long time.
Viper bao nhiêu stack rồi anh em?
Okay. Delight and Viper clearing things out. Gonna have to check my biases now. GENG, come on.
30 seconds until the Soul. I have to imagine that that'll be the point that this game is decided, because if HLE can't find a fight there, there's no coming back from that. The Hextech Soul.
230 là được cái gì rồi, làm ảnh chưa anh em?
Hextech Soul with Nidalee and Hui does not sound like a fun and interactive gameplay experience. Like, that's just the slow, the extra damage, the chains.
And the fact that you can be hit by everywhere on the map is the really problematic part. As Chobi has demonstrated before, that this champion, he is very, very good at it. Dragon has spawned, they immediately start that one up.
Right, Hanwha.
Zeus is in a potential flanking position. Canyon, they haven't done a lot of damage to this Drake just yet. Duro waiting on the side. There is Mom coming down, doing a fair bit of damage. As Viper does have those stacks, it is going to be the Hextech Soul though. As now, can they actually stay alive in this fight? As Canyon, down to about 50%, dash cannons forward. And GENG, they will just back away.
I think you have to commit there. Try to play for the fight. Try to turn it into something more, because now you're just playing into Hextech Soul poke.
Duro's positioning was phenomenal. He stayed behind the Dragon Pit to prevent Zeus from gaining any angle onto the back line. GENG played around their front line beautifully, walked away with the Soul without losing a single member, and converted into 2 towers as well. This game feels done and dusted. HLE need a miracle to turn this game around.
Viper will be able to clear out this wave, and I mean...
Oh, cancel.
The smolder scaling isn't necessarily what it used to be, but it is still a big deal. 265 now. But it is just feeling like GENG have this game exactly where they want it. And like you say, that Hextech Soul cannot be overstated.
It's so much power. Especially with this comp, I think there's compositions where you always get value from the abilities, the attack speed, but there are so many easy ways to proc it on multiple members. As we take another look, and even if there isn't a great angle, I really think Hanwha just not finding the opportunity. Peanut goes for the 50-50, but again, it's not really a 50-50 when it's Nidalee. Zeka gets a little bit of damage down, but because of Duro marking that flank, no one finds anything to say us.
Bit of a 1v1, gonna turn into a 2v1 here as Keen is in a lot of trouble.
Goes in.
Canyon moves on down, the all-out comes through, and he's all out of there by the looks of things. They are trying to chase him down, but this Cassante able to get himself out. And my goodness, those spears hurt.
The heal from Canyon enough to actually get Keen to safety. Otherwise, Zeus definitely would have won out on that 1v1. The Camille finally being a threat in the side lane, but unfortunately it feels like it's too late. Level 15 on the Camille. It pales in comparison to the advantage that GENG has right now. Viper, the late game win condition, working towards an infinity edge, it looks like
avatar là cái stack của nó đó hả?
Look at the CS numbers in jungle and mid.
286, 200.
What is that?
288 anh em.
Actually,
300 là mạnh chưa?
Oh, now there's an infinity edge on
300 là ok chưa anh em? Như 300 là cứu được game không?
The Yunara is quite frightening. We're going to go with that, at least for now.
So, what does Hanwha Life actually need? Like, I think this is a tough solution, like a tough thing to crack. So
kill the enemy next.
Okay, Max, I'm looking for
extra suggestions.
So, what do you mean? That'd win them the game.
We're looking at a misposition for either Ruler, Chovy, or Canyon.
I mean, I stand by the fact you need to do what we talked about early in the game. You have to 2v1 a lane, and you have to kill someone.
Delight has to stay alive. He does at least do that, but no flash now on the Leona.
GENG are deliberately overgrouping. Right now, you've got 4 people hovering around the Baron, and obviously if you tried to kill Chien now, they would just take
Giờ
the
thì
Baron.
Camille không có thua con gì đâu. Đó, giờ Camille đá lại là
Well,
mấy
let's see
này.
whether Zeus can just kill Chien. That might be a win
we know he
condition.
Giờ Camille
will
không
be
có nào
side
thua
lane
cái
fights
center được,
now.
nó chỉ thua
The
đầu game
problem
thôi.
is, what do they really convert that into, especially with GENG forcing the Baron?
Well, there is a back coming on through, but vision is available here.
Oh,
Chien is going to interrupt it. Very nicely done. Mom comes down. 4 versus 4 here around the Baron. As teleports up for both of our top laners. Chien could make his way in. As Viper singled out, and it is going to be GENG backing away from the Baron. Not biting off more than they can chew for now.
What about an Elder Flip?
Oh, I love that. Get the
Peanut
spatulas out.
swoops in, finds the flip, keeps the series alive.
That would be
Good,
extraordinary.
good brainstorm. Betty, I'm seeing some skepticism.
Guys,
over
Zeka
there.
is so weak. Like, I don't
Well,
think he
I
does
know.
any
I'm trying to
damage.
talk around it, Betty. He's behind almost a full item.
Yup.
And
Actually,
the Baron
he is.
possibly just dead.
I think it is.
As well. Actually, only down to about 50% more now. Oh my god! That damage is revolting. As Zeka caught out yet
Trời ơi,
again.
một mình
Chien
thằng cái
is
center
in
nó
amongst
quẩy
the
kìa.
redemption. Not going to quite be enough here as Zeus gets pulled out with the all out from Chien, but he flashes to try and get away. The Guardian Angel
Trời ơi,
is
một
going to
mình
be
cái
there,
center
but
nó quẩy kìa,
Delight
cứ
just
lùng má.
explodes with that
Đi.
spiraling despair. Ruler is on a rampage now as he takes down Zeus,
mình cùng
and
cái
the
center
Baron
nó.
should be free for
Nó quẩy
GENG
giữa team.
now.
No remorse as GENG pick apart HLE once again. Chien delivers Zeus to the rest of his team, serves him on a silver platter as they secure themselves 2 kills and a Baron.
Thôi,
HLE desperately tried to
Ủa,
approach the pit,
Peanut kia
but
đầu năm nay
GENG
đi
give
nghĩa
them
vụ
no
rồi đúng không?
room to play.
There
Đây
is
là
so
năm
much
nay năm
focus
cuối cùng
we
đi
can
nghĩa vụ.
see. There is Chien holding multiple people hostage and then also kidnapping Zeus. But you can see the health bars, they just can't stand up, particularly in this choke when you don't have any place to move. But you need to contest the Baron. You're forced into a lose-lose situation. And again, that fight starts with Chien getting on top of Zeka, taking this Aurora out of the equation, and the rest of the members just can't quite find it. And I think you're starting to see it dawn as well on the faces of Hanwha as their run at Worlds feels like it is on the precipice of ending as
Tầm này khả năng là giải nghệ
Kenny
luôn
is
rồi.
celebrating by breaking his
giải nghệ rồi.
hourglass.
Thôi,
As
chị
once
Mai
again,
thì chịu
scared
rồi.
Yumi every
Chị
single
Mai thì giải
time.
nghệ thôi anh em.
But he can just do that. He retains 100% kill
can't kill
participation,
Chien.
by the way.
like the collapse just, as you're saying, Vetty,
Chị Mai
takes
thua
too
anh Ti
long.
thì giải nghệ thôi anh em.
Well,
The
even with
engage
Peanut here,
just
he doesn't
isn't
look
there.
scared.
Anh Ti chưa có gì giải, anh Ti chưa có
Jovi
nghệ để
has
giải
an
thôi
army
chứ
of
anh.
siege minions as
Chứ
well.
cả anh Ti đi xì Mai là cũng giải nghệ luôn.
Zeus wants to continue fighting here, but it just doesn't really have an inroad. They have to force a fight. They have to make something happen. But it's instead Duro that tries to go for it. The ulti out from
Trời ơi,
Jovi.
đủ má
He's
gọi
looking
mẹ
to
hụt
kill
không
him.
một cái
Redemption
lùng má
comes
Viper.
down as he's dodging all of this poke. Redemption for the snipe, but he's able to walk his way out.
Viper
But
gọi
it
mẹ
doesn't
hụt
really
không luôn
matter,
á.
does it, guys? Because
Nhìn nó gọi
there
mẹ
are
bực
2
thiệt á.
inhibitors now lying on the floor. Now
Ủa,
they're
đậu
going
làm
to
gì
go for
vậy?
it. Into the backline goes Peanut. He's headbutted back and just exploded. Viper doing a fair bit of work.
Ê.
Going to be the first one to be taken down. Ruler, can he be the hero? As
mà
it's
vừa ra
Viper
kìa.
gets down
Vừa
so
ra làm gì vậy?
low, almost in range. It's Chovy. Destroys Delight, and whenever they walk forward, oh my goodness, Zeka will finally find something here in this game. But there is a Chien Sante still standing, and I don't know whether Zeus is going to be enough to take him down, and he isn't.
if it was a 2-for-2 trade, maybe Hanwha Life could try and look to play off of that. They still have the smolder. Elder is up. But with the trade going in favor of GENG, I don't know if that's a possibility.
Canyon and Chovy still do so much damage here as they're moving back towards this Elder Dragon. Information will be there, but you could see it. HLE thought that maybe they could race over here to try and contest, but that would definitely be game over if they just fell and GENG walked up and destroyed their base.
HLE, the base is in pieces, but GENG don't feel confident enough to
Má
actually
thằng
start
Viper
off the
3
Elder
game trước đánh
Dragon.
đúng hay luôn, game này
Instead,
bắn
they're going to push out
bắn
these
rờ
waves
full
once
hụt
more.
thà,
The
má câu
pings
bực
from
thiệt.
HLE are coming down.
Cái chiêu
Concern
đam chính
around
của
the
nó
Elder
mà
being
nó gọi mẹ
started.
không dính một
Ruler
ai,
now
không đợi CC
returns
được
to the
hả?
rift. And that should be the go button
Không
for
đợi Leona
GENG
CC
to
được hả?
start
Hay
off
Camille
this
úp lòng được
objective.
hả?
Yeah, great fear
Cứ
there
gọi
onto
mẹ
Zeka as
đó
he's
đủ.
almost just popped like a balloon. What the heck was that? Almost just one shot by Chovy alone. Look at the poke damage. Duro snipes him with the redemption, and the all-out comes through from the Chien Sante. He wants to go to the semi-finals, and he wants to go there right now. It's Zeus that's able to finally put him down, but the rest
Thôi
of
đi.
GENG catch
Thua.
up and it's
Thua
Rule
xứng đáng
with
mẹ.
the double kill
Tụi
to
má hạt
send
cái R.
HLE
Hạt cái
home.
R 7 lần.
once
Hụt
again
7
book a
lần.
ticket to the semi-finals and they're looking to continue their
Thôi đi
extraordinary
nghỉ vụ đi ba.
run here at
Chơi game với
2025
chó vậy nè.
Worlds. And Chovy, he'll just take a little bit of a sip to celebrate.
Má nè, cả con lồn rồng nó hụt
It
không
was
luôn,
an
nhìn đúng hụt luôn
incredible
á.
series. HLE really pushed GENG to the very limit.
Cái
But the
center thì
comfort
cân
picks
3.
from GENG in game
Má
4
nhìn nè, nhìn nó
was
khác nè.
enough to make
Nhìn
it
nó khác nè.
Here HLE comes through.
for GENG to start off this objective.
Yeah, great fear there on to Zeka as
Khác cái con cặc gì không biết luôn ấy.
He's
Nó
all
nhìn cọc thiệt.
Around the but GENG
to drag 2 for 10 finds Chosen Rule again and just lying on the floor doesn't really matter. This poke redemption is looking to try something happen, but it's instead Duro that tries to go for it. The ulti out from
Cái lùng mẹ nó mà cái điều đúng bự luôn
to
á.
force a fight. They have to make something happen, but it's instead Duro that
Nó
tries to
nhìn
go
khạc
for it.
cọc thiệt.
to play.
There is
Baron, HLE desperately tried to approach the pit, but GENG give them smart HLE.
Be free for GENG now.
No remorse as the rest of his team serves him on a
Up here is Revolt. As well, actually, only down to about 50%.
Nope.
I know. And the
Actually-
Baron about 50%, possibly just dead.
I think it is.
As well. As well, actually, only down to yet again. Keen is in amongst it. Redemption not going to quite be enough here as Zeus gets
Không phải nãy chưa có R.
only and the Baron. And they can shoot single down.
Chứ có đã khạc nữa rồi
Very
đó.
nicely.
Đó.
There is a back coming on through, but Vision is available here.
Oh, he got
Keen
the
is going to
cancel.
interrupt it. Very,
Đủ má khạc gì nữa đó.
very nicely done. Mom comes
Cái
down.
lùng má nó đánh
Vision is
con
available here.
Simon
Okay.
khạc nhìn ngứa mắt
Fight.
thiệt sự luôn.
One. They need. Dean
Má khạc đéo có pha nào mà trúng được
Lot of
hai người luôn á anh
trouble.
em.
we take another
Không có
look,
pha nào trúng được
and
hai
even
người
if
luôn
there
á anh
isn't a great
em.
angle, I really
Nữa nè.
think Hanwha just not
Trúng
finding
được đứa.
the opportunity. Peanut
Má, nhìn cọc luôn á anh em. Khó rồi. Ok thôi, đủ má tưởng game này 5 game để coi còn thú vị chứ. Ao trình. Game này ao trình.
As well, but for GENG, they take another step
Ok,
forward.
thôi chào tạm biệt
They
mọi
do
người
not
nhé. Hẹn
let
gặp
the
mọi người ở ngày
mistakes
mai
of
trận gì vậy
last
ta?
year and the ghosts of
Ngày
years
mai là cặp
past
trận nào với ai vậy?
bother them in this one, and they give us. It would be disrespectful to HLE to say that it went the same way it went in the summer finals, because I do feel we saw a different HLE. But the fact of the matter is, you're going up against the best team in the world.
Yeah, I mean, GENG were just a complete class
Mẹ là biết để cái lịch
today.
vô không?
It
Má
felt
thằng nào làm
like
cái trang lồn rồi đấy.
every single time
Má
it
mấy cái thằng
looked
lồn
like they
Sephonet
might
này
be
đéo
out,
có để cái lịch cho
especially
người ta
in
coi
that
mà cứ hiện
incredibly
trang đầu
long
hoài.
game two. Their
cũ
team
nó.
fighting just came out
Thằng
on
lồn
top,
Sephonet nha.
and watching this team
Nó
team
bấm vô
fight
đéo
is
có một
just
cái lịch
such
nào
an
hết trơn á.
Oh my gosh.
honestly.
Imagine if it happens to you. I'd be like, what?
Vừa có một Viper đánh
Our
Simon
FSO
xong gặp
games
thằng
do
Sephonet
not
nữa.
look anywhere near that.
Mine do.
sadly.
Just kidding. The upper player of the series is Keen,
Thằng này thì
and
lắc
I
luôn chứ.
gotta say we went a little back and forth, right? Because Duro had some amazing games at the
Yeah.
beginning, but the whole
Ngày
series
mai là
really died
cái
back.
tí
Keen
Sibo
was
chắc đéo coi đâu
top
nè.
notch.
I mean, it was
Gặp này
both
thì
Keen
nghe
and
Sebo
Duro
win
having
ấy.
phenomenal performances,
Gặp này
but
không cần
it
coi đâu,
was the
thì nghe
game
Sebo
3
win
that
rồi.
Keen Sante really securing it for him. Keen was impeccable throughout the whole series. When you look towards his Gwen, dictating how Zeus was able to come into these fights, answering for so much of what Hanwha wanted to
Để
try
coi
and
tối nay
achieve.
vui thì đi
And then
stream nha.
the
Tối nay không vui không
Cassante
stream.
in this final game
Vui stream không vui
was
thôi.
incredible. So
Ok, chào tạm
many
biệt
of
mọi
these
người nhé. Hẹn
fights,
gặp mọi
it
người
was
vào tối nay nếu
decided
vui.
by
Còn
his performance, picking
không
off
vui thì
these
thôi.
members of Hanwha Life.
Gặp
Yeah,
mọi người
and
vào tối.
watching
Giờ
Chien for
trưa mai
so
nếu như
long,
có
you know,
coi.
watching
Coi
him
giờ
go
thì
through
bye bye
every
và
single
chúc mọi người buổi trưa vui vẻ
finish
và
in the
tạm biệt.
LCK to finally getting his first title last year. Now seeing him again on the world stage, like it's just such a treat. His Aatrox in game 1, 2 was amazing. His frontlining was